Hey there, Laker fans. Welcome to another episode of Lakers Detailed. I am your host, Vinay, with my co-host, Raj. Raj was out of town for a little bit, so we waited for him to get back and get healthy, and he's back just in time, Raj. The
Oof.
Lakers beat the New York Knicks by a score of, I can't even see the score right now because I have so many different things open on my screen. They beat them 128-112 without
Mhm.
Anthony Davis. Last game, I believe this is the last game of a 6-game road trip. Big showdown. A lot of eyeballs right before the trade deadline. That's going to be the whole theme of the coming week. And LeBron James, Austin Reeves, Dorian Finney-Smith, Rui Hachimura, an entire team effort led
Keep
by
going.
LeBron James.
Keep going. Name the
LeBron
whole
James
roster today.
putting
Keep
up
going.
33, 11, and 12. LeBron leads the way, but we get a Austin Reeves 27-point game. Austin finishes with 27, 5, and 6. You get an awesome game from Max Christie, who puts up 15, 3, and 2. But I don't even say that his offensive stats were the story. His defense on Jalen Brunson was absolutely fantastic. And everybody's favorite whipping boy, Rui Hachimura, with 21 points tonight, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. We got the full spectrum. Without Anthony Davis, we got the full experience of what the Lakers look like when they actually have a switching defense and they actually have guys that can switch in that defense. And there are so many layers to this game that I want to talk about, Raj. So I'll let you pick which one you want to start with. But this is an awesome win. Awesome win. They were minus 10.5 favorites going into this game.
Yeah.
And the Lakers end up winning this game by double digits. Where are
Yeah.
you at? How are you feeling right now?
Yeah. Shout out, first of all, to the detailers. I've been out of town, watching games on laptops that are too small or screens that are too big in sportsbook where people have money on things they should not have money on. Watching games that are, different than the Laker games. But no, Vinay, I think this is a better win than the Boston win.
Yeah.
Like, I think this is the win of the year. This has transferred over to becoming the win of the year. Starting Jackson Hayes, who gives our defensive game plan away before the game starts to Josh Hart, telling him that I'm guarding you half an hour or 45 minutes before tip off. But this felt like, I don't know if you remember, but 2 seasons ago, we had a win in Minnesota where Rui guarded Cat for a bunch of possessions. And Vando also played in that game. One of the few Vando moments that shine through. That's what it felt like, a swarming kind of defense. And Jackson Hayes came out. Vinay, this is where I kind of want to start. This is a brand new team, it feels like. Like, you obviously get Vando back. You have a fresh Max Christie. D'Lo's off the team to the chagrin of some people on this podcast. Like, there's no D'Angelo Russell's on another team. You got Vando back. You got DFS. And we went to this small ball look, Renee, that just was swarming everywhere.
Yep.
And the Knicks are obviously, OG got hurt in the beginning of the third, but they have an MVP candidate that starts at point guard for them. They have a super all-star center, and they have wings that make $100 million between them. This is a very talented basketball team that was, I think, playing the best basketball maybe in the league. They had the highest win streak. I think Doris mentioned it. They were winning. They had 5 games in a row. They're a deep team now because Tibbs trusts their team. This is a big time win. I want to start with just the team looks completely different than I feel like I've seen it in past years, where you have like 3 different switchable wings at all times. Dorian hit his first 3 threes, and none of that seemed shocking. None of that seemed out of norm. He was wide open, hit them. Obviously, Rui's 18 points or whatever he finished with kind of fills in some of the 80 offensive gaps. But did you see that as well? I was watching this going, this is an identity that can be formed here. And obviously, this is with Anthony Davis not in the game. Jackson Hayes kind of trying to play his role.
Yeah.
But no, that defense was fun to watch. They were swarming everywhere. I don't know how many minutes Vando got to, but it felt like when he was in the game, the pace shifted. The game got faster. And just him and DFS and Max together, I thought, changed the tenor of this game where LeBron was able to kind of take over. What'd you see from the wings in this one?
Yeah. I think that was really the theme of this game. Vando only played 13 minutes again. Like they're keeping him at that 15-minute mark, and he grabbed 8 rebounds in less than 14 minutes of play, which is pretty awesome if you ask me. To get that much productivity out of him. But dude, they ran a switching defense with Max, And then Rui was on the floor for this too as well for when they ran it. But they ran
Yeah.
a switching defense with Vando, Max, and DFS. And dude, it is so good, especially against teams that don't run that off-ball motion stuff, or if they want to run the motion stuff or try to create advantages. Like there were so many plays, so many possessions against the Knicks where DFS hands his guy off to Vando. They just switch their guy, and then Max's guy gets screened, and that guy just moves on over to DFS. Like there were just so many different situations where that sort of thing happened. And even Rui, like there were moments where Rui got the switch on Jalen Brunson. Lakers show late help. Like this was, I could make the argument. I actually, it's not even an argument. I think the Lakers are much more comfortable now, especially with Vando and the acquisition of DFS. That whatever that switching defense that they wanted to run that got obliterated against like Miami and the Spurs, like you can run that now, Raj. Like they ran one today where it was like I think Braun was off the floor. It was Austin, Rui, DFS, Vando, and Max, and everybody was switching, and there was no confusion. There's no communication issues on offense. They're like, we're giving Austin the ball, we're screening with DFS, and we're screening with Rui. One of them is going to take a pick and pop three, or Austin's going to get to the rim. We're going to trust these guys to make the reads. And dude, Braun was sitting, and we were extending the lead, which I thought was pretty awesome. Because you usually don't see that sort of stuff happen, especially without Anthony Davis. So they just add a different level of attitude to this team. When DFS and Rui are on the floor together.
Yeah.
Sorry, not DFS. DFS and Vando are on the floor together. They add like a different level of just attitude, tenacity, disruptiveness, just a bunch of like, like not to keep going on, like it's a dance,
Nastiness.
right?
There's like a nastiness to it.
Yeah. Like, like normally it's always like the defensive guy has to dance with the offensive guy. But when those two get on the floor, they're like, no. We're going to tell you how you get to dance. You don't get to tell us how we're going to do it. And then Max gets into it, and then Gabe comes in and gets into it, and he's mixing it up, crashing the glass. I thought the rebounding was awesome today. Like I thought Max contested rebounds, Vando contested rebounds, DFS I thought they did a wonderful job.
Yeah, and the Knicks are a super physical team as well, with the wings that they play. I have some friends texting me that they wanted a shout out. So, my friends Mike,
go for it.
Mike Majon's the outer, I guess, are watching. So shout out to them. But now I want to kind of hone in on Max Christie on Jalen Brunson, right? As like you mentioned DFS and Vando, and I think Max as a starting guard. Earlier in the year, you had a couple things you off your checklist, and you're like, Max Christie has to play 30 plus minutes a game along with Dalton and Austin. But Max Christie, I think Mike Breen mentioned, is averaging 31 minutes a game now as a starting two guard, 21 years old. He keeps shining in these matchups, Vinay. Obviously, he was on Steph, I believe on Tatum. I forgot the other, high ball handling guard he's been on. But Jalen Brunson tonight, he got the assignment. And if you watch, there were some plays on defense because we were up big in the fourth. Just watching Max chase over screens against him, Jalen Brunson does a lot of. He doesn't have the reputation SGA does, but Brunson does a lot of these flopping into you or trying to accentuate contact. Max didn't fall for any of that. Was right there with him. Was physical on the ball, chasing over, point of attack, rebounding, and his cuts have become so much better. He's reading the defense. He's manipulating the defense, knowing where to cut. I'm so shocked and pleased at Max, Vinay. And yeah, as Bamble said, Max growing before our eyes. It's just watching him grow up every single game. It would have been cool to have this happen last year. Maybe he'd be a year ahead, but watching him just grow up before our eyes is insane. This is Madison Square Garden. This was my test, and we don't have to get into LeBron now, but it was very clearly a game where LeBron gave a crap about, and this was a playoff type environment where the stakes were high. Josh Hart screaming everywhere. Again, Jalen Brunson, I thought, came out with a certain verve. But Max Christie being able to kind of stay with him, and obviously you're not going to shut him down. He hit some mid-range jumpers, but kind of keep him where you want. And then the fronts on Karl Anthony Towns. It's just a grown-up game from him, Vinay, from a guy that's continuing to just to grow up, every single night. What'd you see from Max in this one?
Yeah. No, I thought the discipline from Max was pretty phenomenal. Like I think the number one thing that guy was worried about was Max like getting ticky-tack fouls because you said, like Jalen, he does the sneaky stuff even when he's not flopping. He can still get guys who get their hand caught in the cookie jar. He does the little dribble pickup stuff when he goes to that little lefty jumper that he likes to go to. He draws those collision fouls and stuff like that. But Max was so good at just cutting off the lane, but then also not giving him any
Discipline,
room
yeah.
to get any downward motion. And that dude, it was a very, very great game because like there were a couple of moments where they tried to run that illegal offense where it's like the four guys on one side and Max versus
Mm.
Jalen by himself, and like Max
Isolation,
has got to
yeah.
figure it out. And yeah, and I was just like, dude, there were a couple times where Max was like, where I was just like, I was watching it, I was like, Max is gonna foul here. Like he's gonna reach here, he's gonna foul. And he did it. And I was just like, oh dude, this is so good because this is like the discipline that you would be like everybody's saying in the chat, like this is what we want. Like you're watching him grow up. Like I'm 100% positive that JJ and the staff probably told him when you try to stop him from going to his left, but when he goes to his left, these are the things that he likes to do. Don't fall for it, that sort of thing. And I thought whatever the individual defensive game plan there was, I thought Max followed it to a T, and I thought it was fantastic. And I mean, we haven't talked about his offensive side, but finishing at the rim today, so many contested finishes. He had one where he against Cat, where he barreled into Cat to create the separation, and then finished with his right hand. Multiple, like he's starting to realize that, hey, I'm a good enough athlete to score around these guys. I don't have to try and do these two-handed dunks every single time. Just trust yourself to be able to.
Well, so I remember when we were sitting there 2 years ago, or maybe it was last year, I don't remember, Vinay, watching Max Christie in Summer League, and you could tell he was kind of figuring out what his body is, right, and what he can do. Watching him tonight, realize I'm way stronger than the dude I'm driving against. Like Jalen Brunson, I'm shoving you off. I'm 6, whatever, you know what I mean? And I can kind of push you off, and that's to me is the growth. There was a play in the fourth quarter I mentioned it on Twitter, but or X, whatever it is. Max got a driving lane, and in the past, Vinay, he would try to two-hand dunk that, try to get a TikTok reel or an Instagram reel, you know what I mean? Just get something where he's dunking on a guy. But instead, it's like, I don't need to do that. I'm gonna switch hands, go to the right hand, and finish nice with my right. There was another, I think, later on where he got fouled. Again, he doesn't get the call if he tries to dunk that in a out of control kind of way. It's just watching him be able to not just absorb contact, but dish it out. Right. It's a totally, and not in a offensive foul type of way, but understanding like, hey, I can rub you off and kind of finish at the basket. It's just, and he's learning where his cuts come from. A lot of times I think when players play with LeBron or, really great passers, they kind of don't know when the ball's coming, right? Because you get passed open a lot, and he's kind of learning like, I need to expect the ball every single time. No, it's just his growth has been, I told you this before the season started, but there's just no good team without Max Christie. Like, it just did not exist. The wings on this team, when you listed them before the season started, there was just no good team without Max being a part of it. And he was awesome. Max was amazing. This wing combo of I think this is legit. This is real. Obviously, you're not going to get the buckets from Rui every night, and he's going to continue to have the world on his shoulders every time he doesn't score double figures. He's going to be thrown into every trade machine, that exists. It makes sense with the salary, but this kind of wing combo is very impressive against maybe the team with not the best wings, but the highest paid wings. I mean, Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby, those are those two high level star wings. Mikal made an All-Star game, right? Last year. Is that correct? I think he made the All-Star game last year. But
I think he made one when he was with Phoenix, I want to say.
He made one with Phoenix? Okay, maybe. But yeah, I mean, just all-star wings on the other side of it. Yeah, I'm not sure either. I think he made one with Brooklyn when he was, taking every shot that is imaginable and got his 25 points or whatever. Brooklyn gets a lot of all-stars that get high point totals. But no, I just thought that was super impressive for Max and DFS and Vando to kind of go against that wing combo and really make an impact and get the win without AD on the road.
Yeah, no, I thought they did an awesome job. It's like I said, it's just a total team effort. I thought Max giving timely buckets when things, when the ball got swung to him off of his drives was a big deal. I thought Rui started the game off hot. That helped pace the Lakers, like scoring wise. Like we jumped out to a double digit lead at some point. And obviously New York battled back. Austin had a rough start in the first half offensively. But in the second half, he started you could tell he was trying to force passes that were getting picked off, a lot of turnovers off of that stuff. But then the second half, Austin was like, okay, I'm not passing anymore. Like, I'm going to go score buckets. Raj, he had 2 back-to-back possessions, I want to say, or they might have been spread apart by 1 or 2 possessions where he got an ISO against Cat. and he went
Yeah.
right at Karl Anthony Towns, and then
Mhm.
he went right into his chest, and he finished the play. Cat was clearly worried about like drawing a foul, like if he tried to be too physical with him, because Austin can absorb and embellish calls and stuff like that. So like it and I thought Austin helping keep pace in the second half was super huge, especially those stretches where Braun was sitting down. That it made a huge difference. But I, we expect that out of Austin. We never expect Austin to have like 4 quarters of bad basketball. He's too good of a player offensively to have 4 quarters of bad basketball.
Yeah.
Raj, what do you think about Rui's game today? Because this is like the
Mm.
type of game that I you know, it's easy to get these many shots. Like he shot 12 times today, which is probably a lot.
Mhm.
He probably doesn't average double-digit shots on a regular basis, especially when Anthony Davis is there. And
Sure.
this was, like I said, the ball was swinging around and whatnot. Like, what do you think? What do you think? We're not going to talk trade stuff. We don't have to do that this one because I think there's a lot of stuff to talk about this team just
Yeah.
schematically and from this game. But like, can we get? Is there a way to get him engaged like that, or is it just really based on if he's locked in or not, shooting wise? That
So I always say this because I think it's easy to get separated from the screen or what we watch. But hey, put yourself in Rui Hachimura's shoes. You just asked me this question. Can you get this on a nightly basis?
yeah,
Rui Hachimura probably, I'm guessing his and his agent's counter. I don't know who his agent is, but his agent's counter is probably I'm shooting 42% from three on the season. I'm the starting three on a team that's 9 games over 500. Obviously, I missed a few games, but in any case, I'm the
sure,
starting three on a team that's 9 games over 500. This is not me posting. I'm not saying you don't trade Rui Hachimura. This is how I kind of see these conversations probably going. Now, are
yeah.
you getting what? Did he score 20 tonight? I don't have the box score in
He
front of me.
had 21 tonight.
21. Okay, so
Yeah,
obviously you're not getting 21 a game. But
yeah,
again, in Rui's eyes, he's like, I average 18 a game in Washington, whatever it was. I average like 15 a game a year when I get the shots that are appropriate for me. I'm being told not to do this. JJ Redick has a mid-range jumpers are a sin type, conversations I'm sure that are happening on the sidelines. And that's the shot that Rui Hachimura loves. So like you're not gonna get 20 a night now. That doesn't mean Rui doesn't have fault. I think there's places where he can be a little bit more
for
aggressive
sure.
off the bounce. His handle isn't, what you would typically want from a player you think is supposed to be a consistent scorer. But again, like he's shooting well enough to where if he's open, Vinny, I think it goes in, at least from the corners. He's a consistent corner three shooter. He's a good baseline cutter. Sheldon mentions he had a block tonight. He had a really nice block on Towns, I think, late in the fourth
He did.
quarter. That was kind of a Towns giving you the block kind of thing, but it still is nice to see him, weak side help. You mentioned the rebounding. I thought he rebounded pretty. I don't know how many rebounds he got tonight, but it felt like he was in there, at least mixing it up. Unless I don't know if he actually got the board, but it felt like he was part of the physicality that the Lakers were enduring on New York. But yeah, it's tough, man. He looks like the odd man out. DFS's fit is so clean, and when he hits 4 threes, it just looks like
Yeah,
the team is kind of moving in a direction with speed and tenacity that again isn't Rui's real forte. But no, you're not going to get that every night. But again, I think you're getting like it's just like the Gabe conversation where Gabe is kind of playing himself out of being just a salary dump, right?
yeah,
He's now a player that's consistent and contributing. But no, I don't know. Rui's an interesting player that's very talented. That is just not going to be in the offensive rhythm that I'm sure he wants. Where are you at with this Rui 21-point game at the Garden? I think he had a good game at the
yeah.
Garden a few years ago too. But yeah,
You know,
where are you at with it?
I think there was definitely something to what Braun said before the game. I think Braun, they asked him pregame about like playing in New York and stuff like that, and he said like we're juiced. Like he said like everybody's juiced. Like everybody's like locked in to play this game
Right.
at MSG. And I wonder if that was sort of part of what was going on with Rui. And then to answer your question, Rui only grabbed 3 rebounds. He only recorded 3 rebounds. But I think you're right. He was in the mix, like helping tip away rebounds and that sort of stuff when it came to it. But I think you're right, dude. Like if you look at it from Rui's perspective, he's just like, all right, I fall asleep sometimes on defense or I don't grab a rebound here and there. But it's just like, I'm also giving you like 14 a night on like 6 shots.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
what do you know what I mean? Like, what do you want me to do? But I genuinely do think that there is that what you're saying is right. That there's like sort of a little bit of a natural fit with what DFS does and that
Sure.
defensive communication, that sort of thing that they need out of it. But dude, if we get games like this from Rui, like we've always said that Rui is his best role is to be a natural offensive sub for LeBron.
Yeah.
And Anthony Davis was out this game, so we used him a little bit more. Roger, there was a stretch of basketball where I think LeBron, Rui, and DFS were on the floor together, and LeBron was running the offense. I think Austin was off the floor, and we went with that sort of bando small ball lineup. And I think DFS and Rui were on the floor. Braun ran like 4 pick and pops, 2
Yeah.
with Rui, 2 with I want to say 2 with DFS, and they knocked their threes down. I think Rui might have missed one, but I think DFS knocked 2 of them down. And I was just like, oh, this is what they want them to do against a team like Denver when Jokic isn't dropped, because Cat
That's a
was
good
in
point.
drop the entire time. Like, this is what they want these guys to do. And obviously DFS hasn't played yet. But if Rui knocks down those shots, then it's just like, maybe we win some of those games against Denver. We don't have that situation where, it is, it's a difficult matchup for us to try and figure out. We're not trying to find the center to Miles Turner or whatever it is. But we just need that consistently. Like if it's pick and pop, I need him to be like confident that like I'm gonna get a wide open 3 against whoever the center is. I gotta take it with full confidence.
Yeah, I think that's the part. Like you saying Denver, just it brings obviously some dark times and just sounds. And do you trust Rui to make that shot against Denver? I don't know, right? That's the tough part of it. I just mentioned the shooting percentage, but in a playoff series, I think he averaged like 6-7 points against Denver. I forgot a year ago, or maybe it was the series before. I think that's the part that's difficult. Do you trust him to kind of make that shot on a consistent basis? And I'm not sure Denver's not going to change their defense. Jokic isn't flying out there to guard Rui. So that's the kind of evaluation that the team has to do. Yeah, we don't have to get through to trades here. But Renee, I have a question for you. We're 20 minutes in. We spent a lot of time on the
role guys.
A lot of role, yeah. I have a question. Austin drops 27, whatever his line is, 9 assists. Is that your second guy on a like title team? Like, is that your second ball handler on the title team, or like how much more do you need to see? I thought this was super impressive. They had Mikal Bridges on him for a lot. I think OG switched on him for a few times. Brunson, I don't remember how much he was on him. But Austin, that looked like a professional. Carl Anthony Towns, you cannot be in drop coverage against me. Do you know who I am? Type of thing.
Yeah.
100%, like, do you know what I do? Are you familiar with what do the kids say? Like, I'm familiar with your game, or the Shaq meme, where it's
the Shaq meme.
I was not familiar with your game. Carl Anthony Towns, are you familiar with my game? And I thought that was super impressive. You mentioned how he had a slow start. I think he still got to double figures in the first quarter, if I remember correctly. Got to the line, attacked Cat off the bounce.
Jordan brings up a great point in the YouTube comment. Austin Reeves having a game like this after Clutch name dropped him to Mark Stein about being the reason why De'Aaron Fox doesn't want to come to LA. I was like, all right. I don't know why we're name dropping Austin Reeves for this, but it's an outstanding game from him.
Incredible. Before you go, I just want to say I haven't said this on the Lakers Detail Pod. I've said this in private chats, but I would not have moved Austin Reeves for De'Aaron Fox. I've been very clear about that. I hope tonight is another pin in my case on this. But no, go ahead, Vinay. Kind of talk to me about on ball Austin Reeves.
Yeah, honestly, I think he can certainly be. I don't know if he's your second. Your second best player on a team on a championship team, but I do think that I think he could be I think he can be your second ball handler on the team. If the primary guy is LeBron, I think Austin is certainly capable of being the second guy. If he's like your third at the same time, if he's your second ball handler, but like your third best player, offensive player at least, I think that makes a ton of sense too. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's that is a team that can potentially be a championship team. And I think you see these sort of situations where, and of course, I don't think you and I are against adding more talent to the Lakers. The more talent you add, I think one of the things that's one of Austin's best qualities, and I think his agent has done a very, very nice job explaining this on Twitter, is that his IQ is high enough where he is firmly aware of when he needs to step up, when LeBron and AD need it, and when he needs to just step back and just play his role when his guys are rolling, when AD and LeBron are rolling. And I thought, the lineups were brought, especially without AD on the floor, like him going into his scoring bag more in the second half as opposed to being in the facilitation bag was super huge for the Lakers. And I think that comes from probably being receptive to coaching, him just being a great player individually, probably communication between his teammates. I'm sure Braun and him talk a lot about what they see on the floor and how they can attack him. So I just think just beyond the individual skill set and like the offensive and defense and the athleticism, I think there's an IQ part to Austin where that is just it's an intangible thing that you can't calculate, and it's also like he doesn't let his ego override his basketball process, right? Like if he's having a bad shooting game, he can accept that he's having a bad shooting game and find other ways to help the team out. When it comes to like other players, sometimes they'll just try to shoot themselves out of games, even if LeBron's any heater or something like that. Like I always make the joke, or one of the jokes I used to make about D'Lo was D'Lo is one of those guys where he can see his teammates get hot and he'll take the heat check shot. He won't give it to his teammates. He's the one who will take that heat check shot in transition.
Like it
And so like
transfers over.
yeah, and so like it's not like obviously basketball has energy. The basketball has energy when everybody's scoring, but it's just like Austin doesn't strike me as that type of guy. He strikes me as the type of guy where if he sees like Rui hit 2-3 shots in a row, he's going back to him. Like he's going to try and find him every possession to kind of keep feeding that hot hand. And so again, dude, like I don't know how many games we have now where like Anthony Davis is out or LeBron is out and Austin steps his game up and has like a tremendous game. The last big high profile game that we had was that Warriors game, Christmas State Warriors game, where Anthony Davis goes down and Austin goes crazy and has the game winner on Andrew Wiggins. So it's just he's phenomenal, dude. Like every time the Lakers need him to step up, he does. It's almost to the point, Raj, where it's kind of rare when he doesn't. That he doesn't answer the call.
Yeah, my final thing to add on that, my guy LA Bound, who has some takes that they have questions on, but he's been really pointing out that Austin Reeves as a movement shooter, Renee has really stepped up as a guy who can kind of shoot on the move, on the catch. I think what has changed for him, and I think just changes, and I think every scorer kind of goes, or every like on ball scorer, the ability to take a three off the bounce. Like, I think that just changes everything. Be able to shoot off the dribble threes. That's what takes you from like a 15 to 18 point a game score to like a 22 to 25, right? And I think that's what changed for him is that he's very comfortable. His first shot of the game, and I don't know if you remember, first quarter, Towns again in the drop just goes and pulls it like a off the bounce kind of leaning three. And I know, and Doris Burke goes like, what? Like, he's like that was his first shot. And Richard Jefferson starts to talk about how that's the shots he's been taking. And that one goes in. But I think that's changed everything. There was a play, you mentioned him attacking Towns. He hit a few threes over Towns, and Towns had to kind of come up, kind of be at the level of the screen, and he blew right by him, got to the rim. I don't remember, he got a floater or whatever it was. But that ability to kind of score at all three levels, and then he's just a 90% free throw shooter, so you can't even foul him. It's just it's been incredible to watch his growth. His growth kind of gets, I don't know, put to the side because Max is so loud. Like Max going from not unplayable, but a guy who wasn't playing to now the starting two guard. There's another light that's kind of shining, which is like Austin's taking another little jump as well. It's kind of been hidden over Max's kind of big time trampoline leap that he's taken this season. But our starting guards are under 30. It's just like it's nice. It's refreshing. It's just you have young guards starting and flourishing on a team that's contending. We're 9 games above 500.
What's that? Paul Rudd meme from Hot Ones where he's like,
oh, who would have thought?
Look at us. Who would have thought? Not me. But Lakers are almost 10 games over 500.
Yes.
And dude, I'm in very high spirits. Usually it's not like this going into the trade deadline for out of the 6 years that we've had, outside of the year that we got Anthony Davis, it's always been a constant. And not to say that the Lakers don't have some things that they need to improve on the edges, but it's always been oh god, what's gonna happen? We still need it. And you and I both still feel like there's some small things that we have to do. Rod, we've talked about everybody, but we need to talk about the big dog, the guy who
Gabe Vincent. Here we go.
Paces the Lakers, who who everybody at MSG came to see. Somebody that we all take for granted. I I think more than we realize because of just how used to we are of him just kind of doing this sort of stuff. Braun had this game circled like very clearly, was
Oh,
excited to come to MSG, and I thought one of the things that played into his favor and into the Lakers' favor in general is that the Knicks play at a pace that's like right at Braun's pace. It's not too
mm,
fast, not too slow. It's very ISO. Doesn't have to do complex reads. You're gonna bend the way I want you to bend if I get you in a certain direction. And I thought Braun did such a phenomenal job. Like, just I'm gonna go score now for the next 4 or 5 minutes. I'm going to go facilitate now for the next 3 4 minutes with the lineups that I'm in, and you know the pace that we played at tonight against the Knicks is very especially when the turnovers are low. I think the Lakers had a bunch of turnovers. They had like 8 turnovers like in the first quarter or something crazy. But I think they finished the game, if I'm looking at it correctly, the Lakers finished with 15 turnovers. So a very clean game the
very clean.
following 3 quarters. When you play clean basketball and the pace is at what it's at, I think that's when like LeBron like evolves into like this monster that like just completely dictates everything
Yeah.
that he wants to do. And dude, the Knicks defenders they're not slouches. Like
No.
Hart is a good defender, OG is a great defender, Michael's a great defender. Any of the guys that they play, like that's Tibbs' calling card. And I thought Braun like when you and I always joke about like Braun just kind of taking it easy in the regular season, just being like, I don't feel like playing defense on this play. I don't feel like driving to the rim. But then today's game was like, Braun's like, no, I'm gonna go do whatever I want, and you guys
Yeah.
aren't gonna stop me from doing what I want. And I that's why I keep saying, man, I'm just like, I know this dude is capable of more. He's just not doing it in the regular season. We just got
Yeah.
to get him healthy into the playoffs. Get the right roster around him. He was phenomenal today.
Yeah.
Talk to me about like just kind of what you saw from him.
Bashir says, let him play at space. He's going to move every chess piece perfectly.
Yeah.
That's how I saw it. The Lakers had obviously the Braun fans who, come in every time and, let you know how it was going in Cleveland. But like the Lakers had the wings that I think he used to kind of play with, where it was this small ball unit of just, a 5-out system. And I thought that's like where LeBron will dice you up. It was funny because like Precious Achiuwa, Vinay, that's a big dude. Like it's a strong kind of defender, and LeBron just drove right at him, got like 2-and-1s at the basket, didn't feel it, was going right by him. You mentioned, the other defenders they have, Bridges, OG Anunoby before he got hurt, I think was the main matchup for him, but LeBron still kind of got to the rim at will. And I said, yeah, LeBron keeps passing these tests, Vinay, at least my own tests. Who cares what my tests are? But like when I like see these games, can LeBron kind of can he dig down into his bag and like pull out playoff LeBron in games where he cares about? And tonight you mentioned this is a game he cares about. Circled on the schedule, knew it was coming. Every soundbite, it's like it meant something. That whatever he was saying, it had some meaning to it, had some bounce. But no, he absolutely cared about this one. You could tell from tip off. There were some monster dunks that were played in there. Knicks also, you mentioned the style and the pace. They also have, Towns as a player. Like the Knicks kind of go against my basketball philosophy, Vinay, which is I think your center has to be a good defender. Like in the league, Jokic kind of violates this too, but Jokic is so far ahead in terms of what he gives. But Towns to me kind of violates this. Your center should not be the one that I guess is your weak link on defense, but the Knicks, that's kind of how they're built.
The biggest guy can't be the worst defender. That's a danger if that's how your team plays.
Right. And the Knicks, I don't know how tall Jalen Brunson is, whatever it is, he's not that. Whatever he's listed at, he's shorter than whatever that is. But for LeBron, 16, he's like 6'1", whatever it is. It's more impressive what he's doing because of it. But for LeBron not to pick on him and to go at Towns every single time, it's like, I don't care who you're guarding, Towns. If you're guarding Reeves, you're guarding Max, you're guarding Rui, you're guarding DFS, you are the screener. You are involved in every action. And LeBron was able to pick him apart, go to the rim, step back jumpers, the fadeaway, getting and ones at the rim. It was a masterful game, and you can't get this every night. You're not going to get it on some dumb game in Philly where no one's playing, right? That's not where you're about to get this type of performance.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna see him motivate. I think the Clippers are our next game today, if I have that correct.
Yeah.
And I think you'll see him.
It's technically the last game of the road trip, but it's LA, so I
Yeah.
never really count that
Oh,
as a road
right.
trip game. Yeah.
Yes, at the Intuit Dome. I think LeBron will be motivated there as well as the Ty Lue, thing he gets up for. But no, this was a motivated LeBron, and he just came out and when he gets defensive help that he got tonight, and guys hit shots, the Lakers were I think hit half their threes within the middle of the third quarter. You're gonna get a masterclass of a LeBron game, and he came through. This was a just classic. It's funny. Somebody tweeted me, "This LeBron's still in his prime. He's not in his prime. Like we don't have to. We don't have to go. We don't have to go that crazy. We don't have to go that far.
Prime is like he's doing this every night in the regular season,
Right?
and
Exactly.
whatnot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If LeBron was in his prime, the Lakers would be like the 1 seed right now. Like that's how much I like
Right.
think LeBron is, like how
Oh,
good
absolutely.
LeBron's true prime actually is. But yeah.
Right. You give LeBron prime AD, it'd be
Yeah.
some problems there in the regular season. But
Yeah.
no, LeBron was incredible. Just an amazing LeBron performance.
Yeah. Raj, so today I thought, we got outstanding performances from all the role players. A plus, honestly, A plus performances from everybody. You get an A plus performance from LeBron too as well, just pacing the team and whatnot. I thought we also got a really nice performance from JJ. I thought the guys on the floor, I don't think they ran anything complex. I don't think they ran anything exotic. They did a lot of what they did in that Boston game, which is, hey, we know this team likes to switch everything because they believe that each one of their defenders can defend individually. So we're just going to pick on that, the fact that they continually switch. Also, they picked on the fact that sometimes Karl Anthony Towns is in that like solo zone drop coverage while everybody else switches on the perimeter. And they attack that too specifically. So I obviously shot making is a big part of this, because if the Lakers don't make these shots, that we don't win this game. All the players don't. But I think JJ should get some credit for the lineup combinations that he put out there. I thought, like today, Dalton only got 9 minutes. He didn't get a lot of minutes. He was the only guy. Plus minus doesn't really mean a lot, but he's the only guy who had a minus, negative plus minus in the 9 minutes that he was in. So it seemed that even he had a little bit of a short leash for Dalton tonight because of the nature of the game, how close the game probably was up until that the Lakers blew it open in the fourth quarter. JJ goes with, so Rui gets 38 minutes, Braun 36, Max 32. Austin actually barely gets 30 minutes. Jackson Hayes gets 21. Dorian gets 30. Dorian finally breaks that 30 minute sort of barrier there. Jared with 13 and Gabe. So we're counting like maybe 8 guys, maybe 9 guys deep, or no, 8 guys deep, basically, is how far AJ went with this rotation. So he went with the guys that he trusted to stay disciplined in following their things. And we know that's been a little bit of an issue for him. What did you think about just kind of how JJ coached this game? Like what you saw, if you saw anything specific?
Yeah. I thought it was one of his best coach games. I thought the team was super disciplined. We mentioned the defense on Cat being able to front, the post and have everybody kind of in their right positions. You mentioned the lineups. I didn't even notice that Dalton really didn't play. You mentioned 9 minutes. That kind of makes sense. Seems like him and Rui kind of serve the same little similar purposes, where they're kind of the scorers. And Rui had it going. So I guess Dalton really didn't need to play. No, I thought JJ was, great. I think he's coached a really good season, at least so far. Lakers again, 9 games above 500, and the Knicks are a tough matchup. Like they were coming in on a 5-game win streak, playing very good basketball. You mentioned their pace. They play a very rugged kind of style. Brunson is a very old school type of guard that kind of gets you in foul trouble. Cat as well can be very aggressive and physical when his shots are going in, but no, I thought JJ was good, and you mentioned Gabe Vincent kind of came in and contributed. He got contributions everywhere, and the team was super disciplined.
This question, I'm just highlighting this question because I know why this question is being asked. But I guess this is kind of the right time to ask the question. Jordan asked, and we'll get to the questions, all the other questions that were in there. We're starring them in the background.
Yes,
since we were on this topic. JJ mentioned a while back that he simplified the playbook to do the things that the players like. And I think Cranges, who does the Lakers exceptionalism pod with
Yeah.
Tom, he's mentioned that he's seen that the Lakers reduced some of the unique plays that they run. Do you see that happening more with the Lakers? Because I certainly do. I think that they've been doing that pretty consistently.
It, yeah, I mean, it felt like again. I think once Austin kind of came into the lead ball handler kind of position, I thought they kind of simplified what they do, and it's a lot of kind of ball screen offense, or LeBron with the ball, Austin kind of moving off of it. They kind of spammed a bunch of actions again against the Knicks. Kind it felt very matchup, kind of hunting type basketball where they were kind of going at different players, going at Karl Anthony Towns, going at Brunson a bit, trying to get the switch or trying to get the help from specific places, and LeBron was attacking in the post, getting help from there, kind of creating easy shots. They turned the Knicks over a little bit too. It's just they got in transition and got some cuts off of that. But yeah, no, I thought JJ coached a really good game, man, and he's coached a really good season. I think he's got guys bought in, which again, you talked about the trade deadline stuff. That's tough at this time of the year when your salary is kind of being put in different trades or is being leaked for different type of players all day, and it's tough to be locked in. Madison Square Garden kind of gives you that background a little bit to be locked in. But no, JJ's been good, man. I have no complaints so far.
Yeah, yeah. I think them leaning into a more simplified offense has also allowed Braun and AD to kind of have better starts to games. Braun picks and chooses when he wants to have starts to games. Sometimes he's just a little bit more in facilitation. I know a lot of games he's been like he only had like 6 shot attempts by the end of the first half, and I'll be like, oh, okay, he's gonna do this in this. In the second half is when he's gonna start shooting more. But usually it's accompanied by AD having a whole bunch of shots in the first half, so they're trying to play through AD. And look, it's not easy to balance the shot making, based on preference, because Braun likes to post up, AD likes to post up. They both kind of operate in the same areas, so it's not necessarily easy for JJ to figure out. But also, the answer when we were discussing this in the big chat is a little simple. It's, hey, you have one of the smartest guys of all time, like handling the ball for you. You should just let him like dictate, what's supposed to go. Obviously, if you see a complex coverage or if there's like a zone defense getting played, JJ should be out there calling stuff and do his ATOs and that sort of thing. But I think like there's a natural like, hey, I trust LeBron James to be able to make, I don't have to coach him every single possession, So if I call half of the plays for a game
Sure.
and the rest of the half of it is LeBron and AD being the superstars they are, dictating what they're going to do, that's probably a healthy balance. And in a series, that can be that is the difference. The superstars are the ones that really dictate some of those margins of error when it comes to it. So I thought JJ had a great game. I thought the game plan against Boston, because we haven't talked about Boston
Right.
since the last time we potted, but we got to talk about all these different games. But I mean, this Knicks game was just so good that we've been fixated on it. But like even in the Boston game, like the Lakers did a really, really good job being disciplined against Jason Tatum, being disciplined. Okay, we're going to make Drew Holiday beat us. We're not going to let Jason Tatum beat us. We're not going to let Jaylen Brown beat us, like that sort of thing. We're not going to overcommit, but we're going to make sure that we switch. When we switch, we do it in a smart way that supports, like that where we get strength versus strength, as opposed to, stupid switching Austin onto somebody that he has no chance against, that sort of thing. So like, I think since Vando's come back, since DFS's minutes have ramped up, it's allowed JJ to really deploy them in a way that's allowed the Lakers to be successful. And Raj, this is something you and I have been saying all season. Like people
Yeah.
keep getting mad at JJ. I'm like, he doesn't have the personnel to do what you guys want him to do. Like
Right.
you and I keep saying, hey, stop with the stupid switching. I understand why you're doing it, but we don't have the people to do it. And then we got the people to do it. And now it's not
Right.
stupid switching anymore. It's
No.
like, no, only you guys get to switch. You don't get to switch. You need to stay with your guy. And I think it's made such a huge difference. The personnel makes such a huge difference.
So that's what I want to ask you next. Before that, I just want to shout out. So Maciej is saying he's, cheers from Europe. And Vinay, while you're talking, I just checked. It's 5:40 in the morning in Europe.
Jeez.
So, shout out to Maciej watching the stream from Europe.
We appreciate you.
Yeah, we appreciate it. So Vinay, you just mentioned we have the scheme to be a switching team, and that kind of, when you say the word switching, it kind of has a small ball connotation to it, right? It has a little bit of a playing with less size. The rumors swirling around are, with centers, big centers. Miles Turner is a name. Vucevic is a name. Walker Kessler is a name. What's, I guess, the line that, the Lakers have to go through where they have a coach that wants to play small ball basketball, it feels like. Finally has a team he feels like can do it. Vando's only got 13 minutes tonight, but that will ramp up, as the season goes. Vando's minutes are going to continue to, I would expect, increase. Dorian, I think, was capped at this 25-minute marker, which I think will continue to increase as well as the season goes on. And those are two guys JJ is very comfortable playing small ball. Played the Knicks team that isn't too. I mean, they play Towns, but other than Towns, I don't know who their backup center. Precious Achua, right? Who's I think is
Achua,
undersized.
yeah.
Is
They
an
have
undersized.
a young kid, they have a young kid,
Jericho
Jericho
Sims.
Sims. But I think he's out of their rotation. I think they might be trying to move him actually.
Yeah, I think they said Mitchell Robertson is coming back soon.
Yeah.
So we'll see what kind of happens with that. But Vinay, like watching this team be able to switch against Boston, switch against tonight, does that change any, I guess, center aspirations for the team? I want to hear your thoughts and then what you think the team thinks of like watching the small ball and kind of how that moves the center acquisition, I guess, that the Lakers are looking at.
Yeah, so I think this, in theory, the small ball makes a ton of, like, I like the idea of the small ball, and I think JJ is trying to see what small ball looks like with Jared Vanderbilt as a 5, because he's not. I mean, he's not only is he a really good rebounder, he's quick. Like, he gets up and down the floor really quick, and he's effective in that capacity. The way I actually think of it, Raj, is there that stretch of basketball where LeBron was doing the pick and pop stuff with
Rui
with DFS and with Rui. Like, when I think about a center that can help the Lakers, I'm trying to think of somebody who can be in that position specifically for those lineups specifically. Like, when like, I think we had Jackson on the floor maybe for those positions too. As our center, I can't remember, but I want to say there was a stretch where he wasn't. But like, somebody who can punish bigs who just sit in the paint is real, but still also help against bigs that try to dominate us in the paint, like on the defensive end, is essentially what we're trying to solve. I think that's the biggest thing that the Lakers have been trying to solve. We've been trying to do that with Rui Hachimura playing the small ball 5. Now we're doing it with Jared Vanderbilt playing the small ball 5. And so my thing is, like, if you think this is going to work in the long run against, like, the playoff teams you're going to play against, like, it probably works against OKC. But dude, I don't know if it works against Memphis. I don't know if it works against Houston with Steven Adams. Obviously it's not going to work against Denver because they're going to play Jokic a ton of minutes in the playoffs. So it doesn't, for me personally, it doesn't change the calculus of needing size with the ability to space the floor. I'd still like that. And so if it's Vooch, if it's Miles Turner, that I don't know what direction the Lakers going. That's my only thing. Cat doesn't punish you inside. So I think that it worked to the Lakers' advantage because he kind of floats a little bit, and he does face-up basketball.
I guess my only, I'm not countering your point of the Lakers probably need more size. I guess my counter is Cat does punish teams inside.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't punish teams that can scrap, that are physical, right, and are fly around defensively. And the Lakers strangely have 3 guys now that do that. I'm putting Rui in this mix because he guards Towns pretty effectively. It feels like that's
he's our heavy big defender. Like, that they use Rui like a heavy big because then they had him against Adams in Houston. Like, that's how they use him. Yeah,
right. And again, I feel like from Rui's point, he's like, look, in game 1 a year ago, I did my job.
It's so funny because you can actually see the argument from his side. Like, even if he has bad shooting, he's like, dude, what the hell, dude? I'm boxing out a guy who's like 80 pounds heavier than I am. Like, you guys go do your jobs or help me out here, grab these rebounds.
Right, exactly. But no, like I think like the Towns point, I feel like Towns does punish a lot of teams inside, and Towns kind of a player that will let you know about it if he's playing well. He'll like score on you and screen man one and stuff and stuff like that. But no, I think it's an interesting point where you mentioned Vucevic there. The team is, I think, at least trying to move towards this. You could tell when Vano comes in the game and DFS does this, but this level of speed and this chaotic nature, this frenetic nature, right? This nastiness. You've been asking for a guy who moves furniture around, right? And they don't move it around the same way. They have two guys who pick it up on each side, but they still move furniture around. They
You
just
still
they
do?
don't do it
Yes.
they just don't do it in the same way as maybe like a Daron Sharp or other kind of or even a Trey Jameson in the G League that or actually Jameson played pretty well against the Wizards, but that type of kind of just bruising center does. I think it's an interesting take. I've been on this for a while. I've said this in chat. I don't think I've said this online, but I don't think the Lakers respect the backup center position. I don't think that's a position the Lakers see as something they want to put a lot of eggs or assets into. You watch a game like tonight, and I think their coach, I think the D-Lo for DFS trade is a very JJ motivated move and kind of going towards JJ's philosophies, and watching JJ for half a season now where he has to be begged to play Christian Coloco and has to be kind of moved to play centers that I think have played well. Probably doesn't really want to play too many too big looks. I just interested to see what they do in the trade deadline, because centers is kind of the names that pop up in all the rumor mills, but the team is kind of not playing that direction. So it's kind of an interesting contrast that's going on.
And honestly, everything that I've heard is I think if the Lakers could get away with getting a low salary center, obviously Nick Richards got moved already. People are not going to like the name. I floated the name in Big Chat. Big Chat reacts the way that we would expect them to react to the name. But, Andre Drummond is out there and he's only $5 million. And if he doesn't cost, like, Drew Eubanks just got traded to the Clippers for a second round pick. And he got traded for like Mo Bamba and some salary.
PJ Tucker.
PJ Tucker, right? Some salary dump. Is he going to see a lot of minutes in the playoffs? Probably not. But you'll probably see situational minutes against, specific teams that have a second big. He's an energy, big, athletic guy, all that sort of thing. If you can get Drummond just to spare you a couple minutes against Zach Edey off the bench or, who am I thinking of? Steven Adams off the bench. That's in very situational matchups where that way Jackson doesn't get overwhelmed in those matchups. You can still play Vando next to him. You can still play DFS next to him, but and they don't have to wait. They can really focus on who they have in the background. Like if it's a low salary guy, I'm for it. I mean, I think that's why you hear the Walker Kessler thing, because he's a low salary guy. I'm just right. I mean, we're not going to do the trade stuff, but like just 2 first-round picks for a guy that's a situational big in the playoffs, it just doesn't make sense to me. At least with this iteration of this team. But if you can just find somebody, a Daron Sharp, an Andre Drummond, somebody who's in that salary slot that is okay. He's already paid. Like the reason I bring up Drummond is because he's already paid. Like he's got a $5 million player option next year. We could trade him. We could trade like your guy JHS, Christian Wood, and like a second rounder, and we could get him. And he's already paid, so he doesn't got to worry about his money. And JJ is the kind of coach where we don't have to make promises about starting to him and be like, look, you're going to play when you play. And we'll try to get minutes for you, but you're going to play when you play. And if he's cool with that, we could, that's a guy that really helps, I think, in situational moments. So I'm not against it. I'm not in the boat where, oh my God, we have to trade Rui. We have to trade. I think that the reason why the discussion of trading Rui is because he is a productive player, as you can see. He can be a productive player. He has been a productive player when the game goes towards his strengths, which is scoring the basketball. But we just need, with Raj, the metrics. I did it in one of the Lakers extra details. Like the metrics with DFS in the starting lineup, DFS like in any lineup is like
it's absurd. His plus minus
bro.
It's
it's like steroids for the team, bro. Like everything is plus 10 net ratings, defense, offense. Like he's just a better fit for whatever he's doing on the floor.
So two things.
That's my idea. Like if we have to move Rui to get that guy that helps us against the Jokic's, because that's really the guy that we have the most issue with, we do that. I like our chances against Dallas. I like our chances against everybody else. It's just that Jokic matchup is the only one I'm concerned about.
Yeah, and shout out Ashan was asking what I was drinking. It's just a little bit of celebratory whiskey was what I was drinking. But Ashan, it can be a big that requires trading Rui or Gabe, which again I think gets you into the Andre Drummond conversations. It gets you into just these bigs that have been bounced around. And I think if people don't like to put these shoes on because they're not as fun to wear, but put Pelinka's shoes on, it's like I gave you Trey Jameson. Jackson Hayes started tonight in a big win.
Yeah.
Jackson Hayes played big minutes against the Celtics, I believe, as
Yeah.
well.
Two
Jackson
big lineups.
Hayes
Yeah.
Jackson Hayes outplayed Jonas Valanciunas twice, a name that has been thrown again. The team matters, but in the individual, Jonas did not look great in either of those games either. From their standpoint, they're like, look, you have your centers. We're gonna go fill a different need and just continue to bounce these other bigs around. I'm not saying that's the correct move. It's just a move that I can kind of see occurring. But it's interesting when you look at it from the salary standpoint. It's just Gabe hit big shots. How much does he kind of factor into this now? Where if you trade Gabe Vincent, we saw it a couple games ago, I think in Philly, where your backups become Shake Milton and Bronny James. If
Yeah. The
like
drop
Gabe
off is too
Vincent,
high. Yeah.
yeah, it's a insane drop off. Where now you can't throw Gabe for your backup center because then you just you plugged one hole in the Titanic and another one just came through and then it's
Yeah.
flooding the boat. It's just interesting to kind of look at it from where the team's playing with. But yeah, no, DFS has been great. Reminds me a lot of like the Caruso stuff, Vinay,
Yeah.
where he's in the right place at all the times. But no, he's been good.
Can I ask you a question, Raj? I think I know
Yeah,
what your answer is going to be. It's a very simple yes or no question. If there's one theme that I think I've continued to that has continued to build confidence in how I feel as the season has gone on. It is that if you give JJ Redick a player who's specifically skilled at doing like if like what his strengths are XYZ, his weaknesses are ABC, JJ Redick will find a way to play him in a way that is in a productive manner. Like I know right now
mm,
people are upset that Rui is still starting over DFS. I think there's a little bit of politics that's involved with that too as well. It's not just a look at the data, like why don't you make the
sure.
switch already, that sort of thing. But if there's one thing that I've really, really grown confident in is that if you give JJ Redick an average to above average level player at the skills that he's at, defense, offense, shooting, blah, 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 whatever it is, JJ seems to eventually at some point, find the right combination or the right lineups to play that player in to put them in a position to be successful. And I think obviously the basic thing is Jackson Hayes being the backup center because Christian Wood's not available. But like
Sure.
even using Jackson Hayes in the two big lineups for a few minutes to spot AD, some of the work that he'd have to do defensively, it feels like it's paid dividends for AD's legs because he's not
Mm,
having to try and contest shot lines. That's less jumping for him throughout the game. It seems like the more that we've had Jackson involved in those two big lineups, AD's legs have been fresher at the end of games
sure.
and throughout the games and that sort of thing. Is that a theme that you're that JJ eventually finds the right way to use the guy in the right combination to be in when it's the personnel wise?
I think so. I think he has look, this is why you hire a player that's played 5 years ago whenever JJ retired, right? There was a level of it was mocked, some because of the podcast and some because of
Yeah, of
just
course. Yeah.
how young he was. But I think the reason you get a player like this is to connect, be able to connect more with players, and not being a player coach per se, but just be able to kind of understand kind of players' roles. And he obviously had affinity for Dalton, right? And maybe another coach doesn't play Dalton right away, doesn't play Dalton through his struggles. But JJ, being a shooter, understands sometimes you're going to shoot 20% in a month. It happens that, you're
Yeah.
going to struggle, especially as a rookie. Stan Van Gundy did not play JJ Redick, and there's a little bit of like, I'm not going to do what my first coach did to you as well, some of that. But no, I'm with you. I think he finds a way. Maybe other coaches, Vinay, just don't find a role for Max. He's not in the rotation, and then he just stays not in the rotation, right? Which is
Mm-hmm.
very possible. You have a lot of vets ahead of him. You had Cam Reddish ahead of him. Obviously, Gabe
Mm-hmm.
Vincent is still playing, but was ahead of him and starting ahead of him in some games. You had D'Lo as well at the time. But was able to kind of find a role for Max and kind of simplify. There's a word again, simplify the game for him. I'm with you there, but I do think there's a level of JJ has a basketball philosophy, and I think the best organizations are able to kind of walk with their coach, and that doesn't mean kind of bend the knee to everything the coach says, right? Because there's some negativity to that as well, where you kind of have very lopsided trades because a coach doesn't respect a player. But I do think there's some clashes of, I guess, the players that are rumored to be available and what JJ sees as his coaching style. There's like a clash there. I don't think JJ wants like a lot of non-shooters and
Yeah.
non-spacers, and so I'm interested to see what he does with that. I remember he was asked early in the year, like, would you ever play Koloko and AD together? And he's like, no, it's just not something he wants to do.
Yeah.
This one Koloko was playing well, but yeah, but I'm with you. I think he understands players and roles. It's just, I also think there's like an identity that he's trying to form. And to me, that goes against a too big look. So we'll
Fair.
see.
Fair. Yeah. Yeah. I think JJ strikes me as more of a situational. Like his attention to detail, even in real time, is very high. So I think like if he had to prepare for a series, I think he would be way more prepared situationally. Like he'd be prepared for like the lineups that certain teams would run against him. I think in regular season you kind of just have to run what you have to run, who's available, who's healthy, that sort of thing. That's just kind of it is what it is, and you have to try and survive that the best you can. We've talked about ad nauseum about AD's up and down offensive performances when he wants to do it. Braun, I think you've said very nicely, Braun is always the wild card. Sometimes he's very locked in like he is today because of the matchup. And then sometimes we get games like the Sixers game where he's like, yeah, I don't really give a crap about it. Like, AD is out and everybody's playing terribly. So, like I'm not going to overdo it. That's it, which is totally within his right and stuff like that. I don't have any issue with that at all. But like, I feel like when this team is prepared, like when they really highlight matchups, like they've really stepped up to the occasion. And I think, we've had some letdown games. And obviously all the letdown games have been against bad teams. So it's like it almost feels like we just underestimate teams or we just don't give a crap.
Sure.
And they kind of catch us sleeping like the Dallas game. But the way the prime time games have gone, outside of the games that we played in the city jerseys, because that was another story that came out where the Lakers collectively vetoed the city jerseys.
Never seen that. Wow.
Yeah, I was just like, oh shoot, I didn't know you could do this. They should have done this like 5 games ago.
Right.
Stop wearing these goddamn jerseys. I'm sure Nike wasn't happy about that because they're like, oh, primetime games, they're not wearing them. What the hell? And so I was gonna laugh because I was just like, I'm sure Twitter was going to be like, oh, you didn't wear the jerseys, but you still got your butts kicked regardless of not the jerseys. But there is something about this team, about the preparedness of this team for these big matchups against teams that seem like we have no business being in battles with. The OKC game that we lost, Raj, like that was a close game. We didn't get blown out by that team. Houston game. Houston's one of the better defensive teams in the league. We didn't get blown out that game. That was a tightly contested game, even with like Jalen Green going crazy. So, it's just I don't know. It feels like we do that floor ceiling thing with the team.
Yeah.
It feels like the floor is now getting raised more and more because the defense has gotten better, and as a result of that, JJ is able to make some tweaks here and there to raise the ceiling of the team since the floor is a little bit more trustworthy and a little bit higher.
Yeah, for sure. Just really quick on the city jersey thing. That's a funny like online quirk that I feel like maybe this is just me being less fun, but to me that hitting the team makes it less enjoyable to me. Like that should be like a fun online quirk, but that like getting to the actual team and then vetoing it is like, oh, that's
maybe they believed it. Maybe they believe the same thing. Maybe there's some like negative vibes to it.
Right.
It's super funny that they vetoed it and then they had like one of the best wins of their season.
Right. Yeah.
When they
that's
didn't,
true.
but when they were,
they are never wearing that again.
I would never wear them.
Yeah. Never. So Nike, you need to throw those.
Yeah. Tim Harris, if you watch this pod, you probably don't, but if you're watching this pod, we don't need the jersey revenue, bro. Just go ahead and shove them away. Donate them to somebody. Like it's totally cool. Take the proceeds, give it to the folks in LA that are affected by the fires. That would be super smart to do.
Exactly. Yeah, but no, it feels like when the team is kind of moving towards a defensive identity, and we'll see if any other players kind of return. We haven't got any news on Christian Wood or anything like that, so we'll see. I think he's the only player that's heard that like would contribute. JHS has not. I haven't seen him on the bench in months, so I'm not sure like where exactly he's what he's doing, and hopefully he's rehabbing to kind of return. Vinay, before we get to the questions, just we don't have to do a huge trade kind of talk on this one. We have a few games for the next game, so
we'll squeeze in stuff. It would be fair if we did.
Just to it is trade season. It is, the trade week.
Yeah.
So all the trade pieces are coming out at a very high, rapid speed. Just your one or two player just wish list that's realistic for the Lakers, I guess, that you'd like to see.
Yeah. Okay. Wish list. Okay. These are not realistic trades, Laker fans. I don't know if the other team will do it or not. But these are players that I would like the Lakers to get. If because I think their value is at an all-time low, and the
Okay.
Lakers might be able to get them for cheap. Number one, this guy I know is on both of our lists and very unrealistic, but let's just hope Rich Paul can actually get some work done for us on our behalf. I think Brandon Ingram's value is at an all-time low. It won't get any lower than it is right now. And if I have to sacrifice Rui Hachimura and Gabe Vincent to get Brandon Ingram on my team now, so then that way I can extend him at a reasonable cost, even if I don't know what hoping his injury situation is a little bit better. I would love the Lakers to target him. A lot of people have been talking about giving up two picks for 2 first-round picks for Walker Kessler, who he's a role guy. I don't know why we're giving up 2 picks for him, 2 first-round picks for him. I wouldn't do that. I would rather go and see how much it costs to get Brandon Ingram if I'm going to be doing stuff like that. And I'd love to, if we have to move Rui and we have to move Gabe, we have to create roster spots, like find a way to make that happen and bring me back my son. Give me back my son. That's what I really want. That's the first one I
Yes.
want. The second one I would highly consider is in terms of splashy trades is to go back and revisit the conversation with the Brooklyn Nets about Cam Johnson
Mm.
and Day'Ron Sharpe this time, not just Cam Johnson, but both of them. I want to shout out our guy Rome of Coach's End. He has been very, very aggressively saying that Day'Ron Sharpe is a guy that the Lakers should consider. Obviously, Austin's agent is also Day'Ron's agent, but he's been very
Mm-hmm.
high on Cam Johnson. I think you can help address the shooting needs that you need from the team, the rebounding needs that you need from the team, the floor spacing, and then get a situational center at a low salary that can help you out. If that's a guy that you can get with Rui and maybe a protected first and a second round pick, I think that's pretty good value in terms of what you're getting in return. Somebody who's cost controlled salary wise, I think Day'Ron, you can extend them at a different time. I'll give you those two, Raj, because after
Sure.
that, I start getting into the Vucevic's and the Andre
Right.
Drummonds. And that's the real nerd in the detail stuff that I have to explain.
Sure.
Those are the 2 splashy ones. Ingram
Yeah.
or go for Cam Johnson and Day'Ron Sharpe from Rome. But go for it.
No,
What do you
no,
got?
yeah, no, I'm with you on, I feel like I'm right there with you on the Brandon Ingram Island trade. I think people don't realize the situation that he's been playing in, the basketball kind of hell is a strong word, but just the basketball situation that I guess that he's been in the last few years. That's a guy you just can give the ball, and I think when Austin's maybe doesn't have it or is being full court pressured and LeBron can't get to a spot, Brandon Ingram being a mid-range assassin who can get to the line, get to the basket, I think would just help the team a ton. I feel like that the Brooklyn deal will be tough. I don't see the teams circling back again and revisiting again trade talks. And Cam Johnson's price feels like it's on the moon for whatever they're asking for. So, but no, those would be helpful. I'm gonna parlay this Vinay into the question, so just get it started. Ideal trade. I just you went through yours. To me, really, you mentioned those names. The other name I would mention is Miles Turner. He's the big man to me that would fit both sides. Gives you the spacing and gives you the shot blocking, and a guy that I would consider moving. Both first for, and obviously Brandon Ingram's the other name. But that's where I would be. Just quick thought on Miles Turner, I guess, as well.
Yeah,
just in addition to what you were saying.
Yeah, the two guys. So I'm a big. The easiest way to explain it without going into heavy detail is I don't think you can beat a guy like Jokic just by trying to put a big guy up there to defend him. I think you have to put a guy out there that actually attacks him offensively or that punishes him the same way that we punished Karl Anthony Towns for playing too much drop coverage. I think if you ask a Denver fan, an honest Denver fan, about Jokic's defense this year, they'd say it's not been very good. And I think the games that they've lost has been because Jokic hasn't been very good defensively, rotating and defending the rim and whatnot. And I think you've got to have a guy to do that. So I'm with you. If it's Miles Turner, I'm with it. That's the real reason why I keep pushing a guy like Vucevic, because he's a guy who will really, really hurt, who's heavy enough to guard him on defense. Not going to stop him, but he can also knock down shots and rebound with a high volume.
Yeah, Vooch also kind of violates one of my rules of
Yeah,
your
yeah, I
center
know.
needs to be defensively, but I've kind of come around
Very
to it,
true.
Vinay, because his ability to kind of be a guy you can run the offense through. He's a better passer than
Yeah.
I think people get credit for as well. But then we have like 20 minutes. We're gonna run through these. I love
Yes.
these tactical questions. So shout out Bashir. It's kind of sad when I read this, but Vinay, basically, should we double team Zoo on Tuesday?
It really depends on. I don't think they're going to double team Zoo. I think the Lakers probably look at that matchup and they realize that they didn't score as well as they probably should have. Hold
Okay.
on 1 second. I'm sorry. This has got to be fake, right? Yeah, this is definitely going to be fake. Sorry, I just got a
Oh, maybe
crazy tweet.
some breaking news that's not actually news. Is that what it was?
Yeah, that's got to be okay. I'm just gonna wait. I'm pretty sure that's going to be fake because that would be absolutely insane if that was actually true. What? This has
Oh,
got to
it's
be
this.
fake.
The
Do you see
big
this
chat
tweet?
is no, I haven't seen it, but I guess the
There's a Shams Charania tweet on the timeline right now, and this
oh my
account has
god,
2.5 million.
no, this is actually yeah, who
Is
I
this
don't follow
real?
this. No, this is
No, this
he
has got to
must have
be
got
fake, dude. See, he
he
must
must
have
have got
gotten hacked.
hacked.
He got hacked.
Yeah, he got
He had to have
hacked.
it. Markieff Morris.
No,
Markieff
it's
Morris even on the team? It's got to be hacked.
he is on the team, I think, but he's definitely hacked. But you're not getting Luka for one draft pick. This trade is dumb anyway. It just doesn't make any sense. This is
Yeah.
crazy.
In a 3-team deal that includes Utah? Yeah, this sounds like this is 100% gotta be. If this is not hacked, this should be the people are gonna be watching this live stream like, what? No, he
No,
has to have gotten
he
hacked.
has to have been hacked, bro.
This is
They're
crazy.
not. They would never trade Luka to the
Sean said
Lakers.
K Adams got his phone. He 100% got hacked, dude.
100% got hacked.
Kanye West is back on the timeline. And so it's 100% he got hacked.
Oh man,
It doesn't even have the graphic. You know how it has that the crazy breaking news graphic or whatever that it normally adds, like the
Oh
ESPN.
right, yeah.
This has got to be hacked. Okay, I'm not gonna. Sorry for derailing the thing.
By the
That's
way, if it wasn't hacked, this is a different show.
Holy shit, dude! Are you kidding me? If it wasn't, we're going to the fucking championship, bro. No, I don't.
No, they traded AD in that.
I know, but you got Luka back, bro. Luka Doncic? Are you kidding me, dude? I would have traded Braun for him instead, but whatever. It is what it is. Damn, we traded the wrong guy.
Oh man, this is getting clipped to hell. All
yeah,
right.
people are gonna be like, "Oh, we see your true colors, but you've always hated Braun." No, I'm just being honest. That's got it. It's good. He definitely got hacked because he didn't put the graphic up there. Anyways, let's just continue. It's got to be fake, folks. The folks that are coming in, that's definitely got to be fake. Because there's no way that he'd post that without. I don't even think Markieff Morris is on that team. I'm like 100% sure Markieff Morris is not on that team.
Is he? Oh, okay. I thought he was on that team. Maybe he's on Detroit. I'm not 100% not sure.
Well, we're already up here right now, Raj. We've already gotten our whole live stream derailed by this shams hack.
Oh man, that is hilarious.
I'll check for you right now.
All right. I thought he was. Maybe he's not on that team now, but I'm pretty sure he was on that team last year.
Yeah, he's 100% got. Dude, whoever hacked him, at least
He is on the Mavs. Oh
my god, he is on the Mavs.
Yeah, Markieff Morris.
No, he's got to be hacked. He's got to be hacked first.
It's definitely. Oh, he's 100% getting hacked. Yeah, single first, and like you didn't even give him.
What were we even talking about, dude? Look at the chats. Like, what?
I love how Austin's not in that deal. Like that's like you kept Austin out of it.
He followed up, dude. He followed up. He said. He said, "Yes, this is real. Sources tell ESPN." Bro, you hack Shams.
Oh man, not JHS. Yeah, JHS to Utah. Damn it. Oh man, that's hilarious. Luka, Maxey, Markieff. Yeah, Shams would never tweet. Yes, this is real. Like that's.
Sources tell ESPN. Can you imagine that something like that?
Oh, man,
How would you even fit in all three? Yeah, Jazz and the Jazz facilitate. Why are the Jazz even in this trade? Just for fun? Like, why are they even part of this trade? Why is Jalen
man,
Wichipino getting traded to the Jazz? There's like nobody from the Jazz going to the Lakers or the Mavs. That doesn't even make any sense.
they're just absorbing salary. I don't know. Does this wait? We're
Why
already
is
up
there?
here, Renee. Can you throw this in the trade machine and just see if this
Yeah,
works?
let's let me take out.
While I just continue the
Yeah,
questions.
I'm
All right.
gonna yeah keep going through the questions.
Oh, man. All right. So Zoo, we don't think
So
they're gonna
funny.
double Ivica Zubac.
Let me pull this up. This is so funny.
Uh, Shell, what did you make of the threes? Think it's a real thing or a good night? I thought they got good shots. Good open corner threes. It felt like they, created double teams and were able to kind of get open shots off of that. All right, we're gonna keep going. You got the trade machine open, Renee?
Yeah, hang on. I'm doing it right now. I'm trying
right.
to trade Anthony Davis for Luca, and then I'm just trying to do the 2-team trade because I don't even know if that's legal. Let me see if that's even legal.
Well, I hope this person before hacking Shams' tweet.
Who are we getting back? Markieff Morris and Maxi
All
Kleber?
right, I'll read the tweet out to you. So the Lakers get Luka, Maxi, and Markieff Morris. Markieff champion Markieff Morris, by the way. The Mavs get AD, Max, Christie, and a 2029 LA first.
Yeah, so I mean the 2-way trade's not even legal. So
Okay.
you can't do a 2-way. So even if I include the Jazz, that would mean that like Markieff goes to like the Jazz. No, this is crazy, dude. There's no way this is real. I mean the math is pretty close.
Okay.
We are well, it's not close actually. We're taking back 40. Let me just share my screen. It'll be easier to do it this way.
All right.
This is so funny. At least, dude, if you're gonna do that, bro, just at least like fake it. So
At
it's
least DM Vinay and like get the
yeah,
trade
do the
working.
math, bro. What are we doing here? There you go. Okay, so let me make this bigger. Hold on. Enlarge this. Okay, so we just hide the financial breakdown. So it's not legal because the Lakers have to do 1-to-1, right? So if the Lakers send out $50 million worth of salary, they have to bring back exactly $50 million. So this even just a 2-way is not legal. This is not
Okay.
legal. By the way it goes, like they'd have to bring back exactly $50 million.
I see.
So
And there's no other players from Utah in any.
oh my God, it's real.
It is not real.
Holy shit, Raj! ESPN just reported this trade.
No, there's no way. Oh, ESPN did just report it. Oh my God.
This is real?
Dude, no way.
Did we really get Luka Doncic? Please tell me this is this real?
This is the Lakers just got Luka for Anthony Davis.
No way. For a single first?
Yeah, there's no way someone hacked Shams and ESPN's account, right? There's no way that happened.
Unless Shams has access to ESPN's account.
Oh, that may be a good. No.
Bro, Raj, I'm tripping out right now, bro. This can't
This
be
is
real.
crazy.
I don't know how to respond to this.
I don't either. We're just gonna. Do you have anything? Do you have any?
Wait,
Do you have anything to do tonight, Vinay? I think we should
no,
stay
I
live.
don't. I'm here.
I-
I'm here, bro. I'm here. This is fucking insane. Brad Townsend is, dude, the Lakers, the Mavs. Dude, the Mavs. Oh my God, Raj.
The Mavs what? The Mavs what?
The Mavs writers are confirming that Luka has
No
been traded.
way. Oh, Dan Wilkie just reported it.
Raj, this is insane. Hold on, bro. Let me change the name of the stream.
For Wait. So the Mavericks trade Luka Doncic for
Holy
one
shit.
first-round pick and 30-year-old Anthony Davis to pair with Kyrie Irving? I, I I don't get it. I don't. That makes no sense.
Why? That can't be the only thing, right?
A source has told me this is real. Brain is exploding. Dan Wojcicki.
Dude, we got Luka Doncic.
Wait. But we sent out AD for Luka Doncic.
But we got Luka. What the fuck? I gotta keep my voice down. I'm gonna get in trouble.
Wait. Can we just settle down for like 2 seconds? Like we gotta like wait. We gotta like analyze what the hell just
Yeah,
happened.
give me 1 second. 1 second.
Oh, is it? It's real, right? I mean, everyone is confirming it. Chris Haynes, in a blockbuster move, can confirm the Dallas Mavericks have traded Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis,
Bro.
and a first-round pick.
Bro. I don't
Bro,
know what to say.
Bro, I'm speechless, bro. Like I don't even know what to say. Like I don't even know how to analyze this team anymore. AD for Luka Doncic? They also traded Christie. Yeah, George. Which, I mean, you got Luka Doncic, so it's hard to. So they kept Austin Reeves in the deal?
Bro. What happened? Why did Dallas trade?
I don't know. This makes no sense. Is
Oh,
Luka even playing? Isn't he hurt?
he's hurt right now.
Dude, this is absolutely insane. Like, I can't even wrap my head around this deal.
We've got LeBron James and Luka Doncic on the same team, Raj. I don't know. I don't know what to. I have to keep my voice down so I don't wake my kids up, bro. How do you even begin to? Why did this trade happen? How?
I have no idea. This came out of nowhere. No one had like AD just played a game. Like, what in the world? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, Bashir. Something happened behind the scenes. It must have. There's no. Luka's a top like 3 player in the league.
This Raj,
Dude, the Mavs went to the finals last year. Like, what are we doing?
Dude, how do you even evaluate what's going to happen with this team now? Like what was?
Wait, Vinay, the Mavs were in the finals last year, right?
Yeah, they just went to the finals. They just went to the finals, bro. They like why did Luka Doncic get traded? What happened? Did something happen with the Lakers? Like did they? Bro, this is insane, dude. How do we?
I don't know how to. I don't even know where to go from here. Like I'm
process any of this. I don't know how to process any of this right now, Raj. I'm reading the timeline at the same time.
Yeah, this is absolutely stunning. This is the most shocking trade in my fandom, I would say.
I'm sorry, bro. I any slander I've ever had for Rob Pelinka, I'm sorry, dude. I apologize. Like I don't know what this front office is what this front office is, what level this front office is on, but this is probably the most insane trade I have ever seen in my life as a Laker fan. That's like in the Lakers' favor. Luka is like on his way up, Raj. Like he's a top 3 player still on his way up. like the escalator going up. And AD were like, hey, we can make things work. We can move guys around, blah, 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 XYZ, that sort of thing to make this happen. I don't even, what does this mean for like the rest of the players? Like, what does it mean for like Austin? What does it mean for like, this is, I don't even know how to analyze this trade. I'm trying to figure it out. There has to be another move coming now. Like they have to move Rui.
They have to. We still have a first round pick.
You have to move Rui. Yeah, there's no point now in holding.
You have a first, Rui, Gabe, and salary, and like other salary to move.
Let me check my intel, dude. Let me check my guys to see what's being. This is insane, Raj. Something must have happened. Dude, my group chats are blowing up. People are messaging me today. Is this real? Yes, it's real. Damn, should have sent this Kyrie with him. That would have been nice.
Come on.
So, like, let me read. Maybe the chat can bring me back to reality here a little bit. What, Luka is 27? Yes, Luka is incredibly young. LeBron and AD are really good friends. Is LeBron okay with this? I have no clue. I genuinely, I don't think LeBron knows that this is coming. Like, this is not one of those. This is like very out the blue. Max Christie, great player, but is Luka Doncic. I don't feel bad. Like, I think Max will be fine. He'll be really great. Surely can't have Luka Austin backcourt. I don't even know. Maybe. I don't know.
I thought that's the part that's so interesting too. Now it's like everything gets changed. Like you're bringing in a top 3 player that has a 35% whatever usage. Like all your thoughts about this team go out the window.
I believe that defense wins championships. Let me, Raj, actually, let me just start sharing these tweets, and then people can read it here with us. This is crazy. This is crazy. Let me share this. Share my screen. Insane. Share my tab. Share. Look at that, Raj. Mavs GM Nico Harrison. I believe that defense wins championships. Mavs GM Nico Harrison told ESPN regarding his motivation to trade Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis. I believe that getting an all defensive center and an all NBA player with a defensive mindset gives us a better chance. We're built to win now and in the future. Bro. Like, that makes sense if you trade like Kyrie Irving for like an all defensive center. That doesn't make sense if you're trading Luka Doncic. That doesn't make any sense at all. Like, I'm not sure how that makes sense, dude. Raj, the Lakers got Luka Doncic. Like, this changes the entire calculus of everything that we think about with this team now. Like, it's what is he saying here? Yossi Goslin saying Luka Doncic has a player option in 2026. The Lakers, like other teams, were in position to have maximum cap space to sign him outright. Feels like the Mavs acted early and took what they could from his eventual. Maybe the Mavs thought that maybe he refused an extension with the Mavs. They tried to have like an early conversation with him about it, and
he said no. So they traded him.
I mean that's what we just saw with, like, we just saw that with the De'Aaron Fox thing. Like Rich Paul, like, just
I've heard for a long time. I mean, it felt like Tatum and Luka were on their whiteboard, Vinay, for a long time, and Luka just was available, and they said, "What do you need to get that done?" But to not have
people, there's one of my buddies. Sorry, one of my buddies who's a Boston Celtics fan is blowing up he's calling me right now. Hold on, let me see. I'm not gonna put him on the air. But what up, big dog?
This is insane.
Yeah. The Lakers got Luka Doncic.
I don't know. I don't know how to analyze this.
Yeah. Let me call you back. I'm on the pod. Okay. Yeah, he just called. He's a Celtics fan. He's a hardcore Celtics fan. He just called me to ask me if that's a real trade, and I was just like, yeah, that is a real trade. And he's just like, that's ridiculous. And I was like,
I don't know. Like, I don't think I'll be able to like get my head around this tonight, Vinay. It's just
dude, this is insane. I'm trying to see if anybody has any information on why this is. I'm trying to message folks to see what the motivation behind this was. Early word. I wonder, dude. It has to be something that was. This isn't something that was. This doesn't strike me as something that was. What's it called? Like it's like a Lakers motivated thing. Like they're shopping AD. It feels like something happened.
Doesn't
with
feel
Dallas.
like that either. Yeah. What it feels like is Dallas found out Luka's not signing and said, "Let's canvas the league and who's the best player we can get."
And they said, "Hey, will you give us a first rounder and Anthony Davis for him?" And Lakers are like, "You want anything else?" They said, "Yeah, we'll send you Max Christie."
Imagine though, but hey, just like wait, let's get serious for 2 seconds.
Okay, sorry. Be serious.
All right, just 2 seconds, all right?
All right,
because I'm trying to like, Luka's a top. What would you put him, Vinay?
He's a top three player.
Top three, right? Luka, Jokic,
SGA,
Luka,
and Luka.
I think Luka's better than SGA. He beat him in the playoff series last year. Top 2, 3 player, whatever you want to put him at. He's signed for another like 2 years, I think.
Yeah,
I don't. Right? At least I think.
I'll double check. Keep talking.
Okay.
I'll double check.
Okay. So Dallas calls the Lakers and goes, "Hey, we're shopping Luka Doncic," and Rob goes, "Oh, like you serious?" And they're like, "Yeah, we want AD." And they converse and like, "All right, we got you." And now the negotiations begin. So the Lakers only have 2 firsts to trade. Dallas not getting both first in that.
That's insane.
Absurd. Number 2, by the way, AD's not even healthy right now. Number 2, not getting Austin in the deal is like you didn't even get the Lakers' best prospect in this deal. Obviously, AD is the Lakers' best player, but
oh shit, Roger, I'm getting some intel now as to why this happened, and we definitely can't talk publicly about why this happened.
Okay,
but I think this stuff will come out when it happens. But go ahead, finish your thought.
It's just I don't know. I can't. Luka Doncic might be the best asset in the league in terms of like what it would cost to get him. And Anthony Davis matters, obviously. Like that's a huge loss in this. You got the best. You got maybe the best player in the league, who's 26. People talking about the Lakers have no defense. I totally get that. I totally understand. I totally get that. I don't think people understand that Luka just went to the finals last year with a rookie starting at center. Like I think that also needs to be part of this conversation. Luka is very, very, very good. Very good. AD's loss will hurt. But
100%. 100%. Lakers defense will 100% be affected. Yes. I think you and I both agree that it is 100% that the makeup of this team is going to change very, very quickly now that Anthony Davis is gone, because the Lakers cannot survive with Jackson Hayes, with like Jackson Hayes at center. Yeah, here's the story. Raj Shamshrani is reporting that the Mavericks approached the Lakers recently and offered Luka Doncic. Sources tell ESPN Lakers brass met and believed the 25-year-old Luka Doncic had the ability to be the face of their franchise for the next decade.
Wait. Can I stop you there? Every team in the league would think Luka Doncic has a chance to be the face of their franchise. I keep going. Sorry,
look, maybe there was a situation, Raj, where
oh
the
my
Lakers.
God, Vinay. Mark Stein says Luka Doncic did not request a trade. Mavericks did this on their own.
Had to be something, dude. There's no way. There had to be something.
Cuban doesn't do this. This is like new Mavs ownership. Cali, is something wrong? I don't understand what you're upset about. I don't get it.
Nothing. Everybody should be happy right now because this is very, very crazy. The Mavs came to the Lakers.
People in here.
The Mavs came to the Lakers. Okay, so all right. I think what's going to happen is tonight, tomorrow, we're going to get more clarification as to what was the motivation behind these teams doing this, and we probably won't get the full truth of exactly what it was. But one key part of what is pretty clear is the Mavs approached the Lakers. It wasn't the other way around, which I think
Which
you and I
is
both said,
absurd.
which is
I
crazy. Yeah.
love AD, by the way. I want that to be out there. Like, Luka Doncic is the best player in the league type stuff. Like, this is not you didn't. Sorry, Vinay, but you didn't trade for 35-year-old Russell Westbrook here. Like, this is 25-year-old Luka Doncic.
This is the most on fire I think my phone has been since
Same.
I had a negative Braun tweet go viral and people were telling me to take it down. So
You know
this
what's
is
crazy, Vinay? Which
yeah.
is it's not sad, but this game doesn't matter any. This
Yeah.
Knicks game doesn't this is a completely different team now.
Yeah, I see your tweet here. Mark Stein's tweet. Luka Doncic did not request a trade. Oh, and then McMahon is reporting Mavs had concerns moving forward with Luka Doncic due to conditioning issues, looming commitment of Supermax extension. I 100% bet that the Supermax extension wasn't agreed to. It wasn't like a
You didn't agree
oh,
to Supermax with Luka Doncic? You just
he
went to
might have
the
he might have not agreed with it.
I'm sorry, but trading Luka the year after you go to the finals is that not franchise malpractice, Vinay? Is that not? I don't know.
Well, all the people who said the Lakers need offense, Lakers got some offense. Let's hope. I don't know what Luka's health is going to look like. There is this part over here about Luka's conditioning, so I'm going to be very, very curious to see, what ends up happening. But dude, the Lakers have to bump up their defense. They have to bump up. They have to get a real defensive center now, and so I think it's pretty clear that that's what's going to happen. Let's go through these because I know that analysis is a little tough right now as we figure out what's going on. Shell's asking, what do you think of this trade right now? I don't think you could honestly. I don't think you could have gotten a better return for Anthony Davis. If it other than Nikola Jokic.
No, impossible. Impossible. You're getting a better trade than this in Anthony Davis.
Yeah, I don't think you could possibly get a better return than what
honestly,
you just
Vinay, I'm nothing against AD. I didn't think this was his I didn't think this was his value. I didn't think you could get Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
I honestly I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't. I mean, maybe Dallas loved. I don't know. AD. I'm sure AD didn't want this. I don't.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if AD didn't know if this trade was agreed to without I mean, why would you consult him if a trade do you have time to consult him? If a trade like that shows up?
No, you can't. You can't let you can't let Luka slip through. Luka is a number one pick that would go number one in 8 straight drafts. That's how good Luka Doncic is.
Yeah,
that dude's an MFing he's on a path that's insane. Lakers are not blowing it up. You have Luka Doncic and LeBron James. You're not blowing it.
Okay, so all right. I don't know. I don't even know if Luka's playing. Is Luka playing this year? Is he coming back?
He's coming back. He's 100% coming back. He's 100% coming back. I think he's out for another month, maybe. I don't know, but I mean, I think he's gonna come back after the trade, after the All-Star break. But
so, yeah, there's definitely gonna be a lot here that I think the Lakers are trying to figure out. But I mean, at least this trade happening now means that the Lakers have 4 days to figure out. They got to hustle around. Dude, honestly, Raj, one of the things that is actually, before we start talking about moving forward, Anthony Davis helped deliver a title to Los Angeles. We should talk 100%. About this. Like Anthony Davis is a spectacular basketball player. And I think right now, probably all of our brains are sort of fried right now at the idea of what's just happened right now. But Anthony Davis is a spectacular basketball player, and he has, when he's healthy, has anchored this defense in and covered up for so much that I don't think he's ever gotten enough credit for. I think he continues to be a spectacular player, And I also think that like his contributions, I'm sure we'll discuss this like just kind of on its own because it deserves like he deserves like that sort of conversation about him. But like him helping deliver that championship, him helping us get back into the playoffs, like him helping deliver a championship and just be that partner in crime with LeBron James, regardless of what his health was like I don't think that can be understated. And I think as Laker fans, like that is something that's like super, super important to like always remember that. Granted, we always want to move to the future and think about the future, and we know LeBron's 40 and all that sort of stuff. But like to land a guy like Luka Doncic, you can't land somebody like him if you don't have a guy like Anthony Davis. And I think it is a testament to how good of a player he is that we're able to land a guy like Luka too as well. So I don't want it to go understated as people like move forward.
It should
He's a
not.
spectacular player. He's just an amazing guy, and I'm no matter what, I'm still going to be super sad to see him go because I think he does embody a lot of the hard work and the defensive stuff and whatnot that we love as Laker fans. But yeah, I'll hand it off to you there.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I can't even analyze this trade, Vinay, but AD is 31, still has a lot of basketball left in him. It's not like the Mavs are getting, 36, 37-year-olds. So AD will be there for the next good amount of years. We'll see what they build around AD, and Kyrie is still, the Mavs are still a formidable team. They're not what they were with Luka at the helm, but I don't know. It's just I'm gonna have to sit with this for a while. It's just I don't have anything to
Dan
anymore to say.
Dan Wojcicki's reporting that hearing from sources that the long history between Rob Pelinka and Dallas GM Nico Harrison played a role in getting one of the
Wow.
wildest trades in NBA history. Lakers were presented with the opportunity for seismic change to build around one of the game's biggest young stars. So
There you
hats
have it.
off to you, Rob Pelinka. Am told the trade was made in full alignment between coach, GM, ownership. So
Wow, JJ was a part of this.
yeah.
JJ loves Luka. If you hear his podcast, he loves Luka Doncic.
I mean, Luka's contract is exactly the same as Anthony Davis, like in terms of length and player option and all that sort of stuff. So it's I mean, this is literally like you're just swapping a younger, completely opposite
Right.
of the spectrum player, like an offensive hub, an offensive engine. Like for sure, he's got conditioning issues. Sometimes he wears down. He's had knee issues here and there, over and over again. So that's a key thing. But you're pairing one of the best offensive players in the NBA in like early NBA history too, like on trajectory to be like people are talking about Luka Doncic like he's like the heir apparent to LeBron James in terms
To
of like
LeBron.
yeah, like the guy who's going to be the guy who carries the torch. And obviously Jokic bursts onto the scene and now the Lakers.
Shout out Pickup Hoop. Rob Pelinka was gifted lifetime job security.
This is yes, bro. This is lifetime job security. That
So I want to make this. I'll make this real quick, Vinay. Like I don't think people, because obviously I think the trade is so sudden. Luka Doncic, like I don't know how to make this. This is like a GOAT like type of player that is the type of trajectory that he's on. Like it's. I don't know what legendary player you want to compare it to, but I don't know. It's just this is a 25-year-old in his prime. I joke. Someone told me LeBron's still in his prime. This is like a 25-year-old prime dude. Like, and this isn't just about this year, by the way. This like sets you for a long time. Yeah, the defense will have questions, but now the changes shift, right, George? The changes become go get a defensive center, right? And now all the buyout guys, where are they going?
LA, they're coming here. Like everybody's coming here, bro.
Exactly.
You've got the guy that's gonna
feed you.
If we think of, go ahead.
I was gonna say Luka's the best passer in the game. Like this is like, dude, like this is fucking ridiculous. This is the
You
best passer in the league. Like,
you've got a
it's
guy.
stupid.
You've got a guy that like you've basically got a guy who's going to Raj. We have a lot of people come to a lot of role players try to come to the Lakers to like increase the visibility of their like basketball play so they can get themselves more dollars. And obviously playing next to LeBron, um, obviously next to LeBron, like he's a guy who, if you do your job, you're going to get paid playing next to LeBron because you're going to win games and potentially win a championship. And now you're telling me that we added Luka Doncic to that? Like now we have Luka who's just going to gas up. I cosmically, this is also very incredible, Raj, because we have DFS, who's familiar with Luca, is a 3-and-D guy. Obviously, we
Oh,
lose
good
Max.
point. Didn't even
We
think
lose
about that.
Max. That hurts us a little bit. Vando is not a guy who can create off defensively for himself, or sorry, offensively for himself.
Luca's gonna give Vando so many cuts. Oh my god.
And he finds him so many easy buckets. Obviously, Braun is there. Gabe is there. Austin, bro, we still have
Bro,
Austin
Luca,
Reeves on this team.
how did we keep Austin in this deal? Like that's the part.
I'm actually very shocked about that. I'm very, very shocked that we kept Austin Reeves in this deal. Like that's actually like double the like I have to give you even more credit to Rob that he only gave up Max Christie, who we both like, but he only gave up Max Christie and he kept Austin. Like that's kind of crazy.
Dude,
Because now
that's absurd. That's why I wanted to kind of go back and forth with you in the negotiation because it's like, all right, you're gonna have Luca give us AD, and they're probably arguing on both firsts. And Rob's like, one first or Max. He's like, give us Austin. No, like I guess JHS is going to Utah, right? Because this is real.
Yeah,
but
pour one out for your guy JHS. But yeah, okay. So the Lakers probably traded JHS to Utah because, but it looks like the Lakers kept one of their first second rounders because the Clippers second rounders what went to Utah, and the Mavs sent one of their second rounders to Utah. So I wonder if JHS and Markeef. Actually, I'm very curious to know if Maxi Kleber's coming to LA or not because he might actually he might get sent to Utah. Now that I think about it, I'm very curious to see how that.
That's a. I mean, that's. I can't even get my mind on Maxi Kleber. Like I just
a floor spacing 5. Yeah, because AD's going to a team that already has Daniel Gafford and has Derek Lively.
And Lively. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, 80's better than both of them combined, but
yeah.
I mean, Kyrie, AD, and like that's still a competitive group, right? I mean, it's not. Oh, that's a good question too. Like, does AD want to be in Dallas? I don't know. It's just.
Well, so AD can play the 4. Now he gets he gets 2 bigs to play next to. It's good for him. But they're gonna be like what Kyrie.
Oh, this is good. Someone asked me this on Twitter, Renee. Do you go all in for Miles Turner now? Like, do you go get like the shot blocking big that like do you just go for that? Like and just I know it's tough. I
don't know. I don't know if Miles like so the one thing
we kept Rui, right, in this deal, or did he go?
No, Rui's here. He's still with us. So Rui can still be flipped. Gabe can still be flipped. So now,
who left? Max and AD. That's and JHS.
Yeah. So Max Christie gets traded, AD gets traded, and JHS gets traded, and the first round pick, 2029 first round pick, based on the notes that Shams has, and the 2025 LAC pick, which was one of the second rounders. So we send AD, Max, JHS, the 2029 first, and one of those seconds. So we have 1 second left, which is our own, and we have 1 first rounder, the 2031 first rounder is still available. So that guy is that is still sort of available. So that the dude, Raj, that must mean that if they do move Rui, like it has to be for a center. I don't know if it's going to be for a what's it called? I don't know if it'll be like a Miles Turner type, because I don't even know if Miles Turner is available. But like, I would imagine they're gonna ask Luka, like, and they're gonna ask Braun, like, we want to get a center. What kind of center? Like, because bro, you just traded AD. AD's Braun's friend. Like, they're like close. So, like, how does Braun feel about this? Like that's also like a whole layer to this that
So,
I don't
do you
even
think
know.
they would do this without LeBron's approval, though?
That would
Or
be that'd be crazy if that was the case. Like
like, there's no way they do this without consulting. I mean, maybe not consulting, but there's no way LeBron wasn't somewhat not involved in trading AD, but kind of like, yeah, that's something I would do.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if he would approve of something like that. Like, I don't even, honestly, this kind of feels like this is something that he wasn't consulted on. Like, this feels like they probably organizationally decided, we just need to make sure that the coach is on board with this, and the front office folks are on board with this, and the organization, the money people are on board with this. And as soon as they say yes, that's it. That's the end of it. Like, I don't think there's anything else to this, bro. This is fucking crazy, man. Like, I don't know. I don't think. Do you think Braun will be upset if he wasn't part of it?
I, Gee, there's no way a trade of this magnitude happened without LeBron having like some. But I don't know. He was playing a game during the time, so like he was.
This did happen after the game, so maybe they did wait to consult him and kind of had him on. I mean, they somehow
And
consulted JJ.
so they noted that AD is not even in New York. He's in LA getting treatment for the rib.
That
I think
is
that's why LeBron had his pep in the step today. No, come
no.
on. No, he likes playing at the Garden.
We're not gonna do that. Yeah.
So, Mark Stein, the Mavericks and Luka Doncic until tonight, we're heading towards a 5-year contract extension in July worth a record $345 million. Dallas GM Nico Harrison made the call to abruptly change the direction of the franchise. One of the most stunning trades in league history.
Oh, LeBron McMenamin is reporting now. LeBron James learned of the Davis Doncic trade after the Knicks game when it broke while he was out to dinner with his family. Sources close to James told ESPN James was surprised by the news, is processing it, and had no idea it was in the works, sources said. All right. Well, there's the answer in real time, Raj. Braun didn't know about it. He was out having dinner with his family.
Yeah. This is so. There's gonna be people like questioning the trade. You could not turn this down, right, Vinay? As the Lakers,
No, absolutely not. Like, I as a fan of the Lakers that watched Pau Gasol help us win 2 championships, and then also saw that he was like kind of on his way out as a basketball player, like hit his twilight as a basketball player, like knowing that he was going to get traded for, what's it called, like Dwight Howard at the time is who he was rumored for, and then Lamar Odom, who helped us win multiple championships. He gets traded for, in the Chris Paul deal and stuff like that. Like, I didn't like it was painful to see, but it's not something that like I felt like I was always happy for them for what they contributed to us for the Lakers, but I understood that basketball is a business and you have to continue to be competitive, and they were kind of on their way out, and the Lakers were trying to take opportunity of New Orleans with the Chris Paul trade that eventually got vetoed. So, dude, Raj, this is what this feels like. This feels like a little bit of the Lakers had to decide, hey, do we take a step into, bro, you just asked me before this news broke of whether, what are the 2 trades that, what are trades that would make sense for the Lakers? And I
right?
literally told you, if you're going to give up a first, go get a guy like Brandon Ingram who can bridge the bridge to the future, right? And like he's a guy that can carry you beyond LeBron. And then this Luka news breaks, bro. This is fucking crazy, dude. I don't know like how else to process this. Like, at this point, I'm like, I just want to see the dude in a jersey, and I need to know what the hell we're gonna do with our with our center position now, because like we need a center, like we need a real big, and this is kind of crazy to
Word
I'm just very
Mark
interested.
Mark Spears, word is new fat mass forward Anthony Davis is good with going to Dallas, has a solid relationship with team president Nico Harrison, dating back to the latter's Nike days. Now Davis also has centers next to play next to him in Dallas.
Yeah. I wonder, Raj, if there was a little bit of I wonder if there was a little bit of the Lakers saying, "Hey, we're at a basketball philosophical impasse with Anthony Davis, and we're trying to make things work, and we've tried to make things work. And like you said, like we haven't committed too much to the position." I'm saying this as it relates to the motivation behind trading him when the right trade comes up. And they're like, "Hey, we've tried different things to make this work, and it's not always worked, and it's getting really hard for us to go organizationally to get this to work." And then Dallas comes to him and says, "Hey, you want Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis?" And the Lakers are like, yeah, sure. Like we can't seem to find a guy that fits next to Anthony Davis that we're willing to pay for. So maybe they just do it. Raj, like, what does this mean about the business of the Lakers and Clutch Sports?
I I mean, LeBron's still on the team. I mean, it's I have no idea, man. I wonder how Rich Paul feels about this. But as a franchise, you can't say no to Luka Doncic. Like you just can't. Like that dude was just in the finals. He's made 3 Western Conference Finals in the last 5 years. That's a winning dude. That when he's on your team, you win 55 plus games in the regular season. And the Lakers are prepared. This isn't Dallas, no disrespect. Like the Lakers get stars here, and like as good as Kyrie Irving is, the Lakers are going to try to pair Luka with after LeBron with whatever other superstar that exists. I don't know. I can't even wrap my head around this, Vinay.
We sound like for the folks that are just joining the stream a little late, like we sound like probably like somber, but we're not somber.
We're not somber. It's just I was not there's no prep for that.
Yeah, like it's
I'm a little sick, Sam. I've been dealing with a little bit of a cold, but I'll be all right. It's just now Kyrie and AD are gonna win the chip. I doubt that's happening. It's a future-minded trade. I mean, it might be. I mean, would you blame anyone for? It's just I don't know, man. This is just ultimate Clipper killer. That's true. Luka does play very well against the Clippers. I wouldn't expect Luka to play until after the All-Star break because I think he's still out. But yeah, Mark Spears saying AD is good with the trade. I mean, that's the reports that always come out. I'm not saying he's being untruthful, but what is AD supposed to say? I hate it. Like he's like
it's Luka Doncic. This is the Brandon Ingram thing. Like where Brandon Ingram is like, "Oh, you're trading me for Anthony Davis." It's not like you're trading me for like some random dude.
The craziest part, Renee, we spent like Desmond is talking about. We spent like 10 minutes laughing at this because we thought there's no way you could get Luka for that package, and we just started like laughing because we thought it was fake. We were like, "There's no way you're getting Luka for 80 max in 1 first in a few seconds."
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, props to props to Rob Pelinka, props to Jeannie Buss, props to all the folks in the front office that got this deal. I mean, Rob Pelinka, I would imagine, based on Dan Wojcicki's tweet, because I'm pretty sure Rob probably has it up right now, and he's like going around the office. Like, you see this? You see what I did? Like, you see what I did? I think he's probably what's it called? Oh, Anthony Davis is waving his trade kicker. Okay, so he's okay with going there. He's not. It's not like he's like, "Oh, you gotta like pay me my full money too."
Yeah, I don't. This is just.
Sorry, I forgot what I was saying. Like, I mean, props to the Lakers front office for getting this done. Like, this is legitimately like one of the craziest trades like that I think this is almost it's not the same player because Luca is a world's galaxies better player, but this is like that Chris Paul trade. Like where we're like, oh shit, the Lakers clearly get very, very like they're going
That's
right
a
back
that's
into contention
that's a
with
good
this.
that's a very good comp actually because we
Yeah,
traded Powell for Chris Paul,
right.
right? And
And
everyone's like, oh, I don't know, you traded size for small. It's like Chris Paul at the time. Chris Paul was, I mean, not exactly where Luca is, but in that top 5 player in the league type stuff. Yeah, this is
yeah,
we've been on for 2 hours now. I don't. I'm speechless. Man. I have nothing to
yeah.
say. Like,
And
Shanahan,
it's yeah, it's not even like when we think about it, it's like it's not even like the basketball thing, right? Like it's not we're not in disbelief because we do think Anthony Davis is a really, really great. Like if Anthony Davis was
right?
25 and you trade him for Luka Doncic, you'd be like, oh yeah, like this makes sense. Like these are two really great players, maybe tired of their positions and they could trade for it. But Anthony Davis is like old, like he's an older guy, and he's had injury issues and whatnot. So like I'm just shocked. Like Sharaj, like when we think about this now,
Yeah,
we're definitely going to be having to do a few more pods this week out of schedule, I'm sure, when it comes to it. But like the Lakers now have like 4 days basically to figure out what like you have to change the way your roster kind of works. Like we've got Vando, I think he stays. Um, we've got DFS, I think he stays. Austin, I would imagine, is also still here. Like he's not a
hundred
guy that they're
percent.
going to move. But I think the noise behind like Rui getting moved and Gabe getting moved now for parts is going to like increase now. Like
Oh
I
yeah,
think the
that's a
Lakers are
good
going to
point.
look around a little more aggressively about like who can we move these guys for that helps complement these two guys
That,
on a run
that,
into the future. Like for a deep run.
yeah,
And
that
and then Raj, it's life with Luca. Who wants to come play with Luka Doncic in LA? Like
do,
when
do,
Braun decides he wants to go. If he
do you think
wants to go.
LeBron's doing another year with Luca? Like,
Bro, that's a ball dominant guy. Like that is if you thought Russ commanded the ball too much, like Luca, he's taking the ball out of Braun's hands, like for sure. So I don't think Braun's gonna be like, trade me tomorrow,
no, no, no.
which would be insane if he did that. But I think this also kind of probably lets Braun know that like, hey, when you're ready to go, you can go. Like we're not like we're not going to keep waiting on you to go. And maybe it affects some of the extension talks after the player option, Raj. Like if the conversation this offseason was going to be Braun coming to the Lakers and saying, hey, I'm going to opt out and do another 1+1. If the Lakers were like, hey, we don't know if that makes a lot of sense because it's really hard to make things work with you on a max contract, and you he's still statistically a fantastic player, but like if the Lakers want to move on to the next level, they can do that now. So okay, it looks like Tim McMahon is reporting that Luka was pushing 270, so there was a conditioning issue that they had an issue with Luka. So um, that would make sense. Like if they're giving him a super max extension, and they're
Yeah,
worried about him not being committed to staying in good health, that sort of thing. Like that
like
could
can we focus on that part real quick?
yeah
I'm not saying Dallas is wrong for that
yeah
because I do think there's some conditioning stuff with Luca, right, where he might, be a little extra tired at the end of playoff runs or whatever it is. Luca's perspective, it's like we're we're just we're just in the finals. I took 2 games off a team that won like 60 plus games. I I'm one of the most clutch players in the league. Like I understand from the Pelicans do this with Zion, right? They're like, yeah, we have some questions. But even the Pelicans, Vinay, aren't shopping Zion in this way. They're not like, we're just giving you Zion. You know what I mean? Like the Pelicans are like, oh, this dude's an absurd talent. Like even with the weight stuff, we have to deal with the bullshit. And that's Zion Williamson. The Pelicans haven't won a. Did they win a playoff game? Maybe with against the Suns, they won 2 games, but Zion
Mhm.
didn't play in that playoff series anyway, so it's moot. But even the Pelicans don't do this with With Luka Doncic, I'm just.
I mean, for me, it's just I'm just sitting here trying to think. Like my brain is. I don't know how I'm going to sleep tonight, Raj. Like I'm gonna be
This
very honest with you. Like
this
my
is this is crazier than the Paul George deal. Like, remember when
this
Paul
is
George got traded from
yeah
OKC? Everyone was like, "Holy shit!" Like they traded Paul George. This is like 10x that.
yeah. So Raj, what does this mean for our championship window? Like in terms of like, do you care if like well, obviously we want to make the playoffs and compete in the playoffs? Like, do you continue to just go all in, offer your first to see if you can find a
Yeah,
guy that can really push you over the top?
I
Because
think
I
you
mean,
do because now your first, like, who cares what your first is in 2027 now?
yeah.
Like, you have Luka Doncic, like, all those firsts are now late first or whatever. Like, all those are just, I'm just shocked, man. This trade was so, like, lopsided, everyone thought it was fake. I mean, no, you're not lopsided, but it just out of proportion of
I mean, it was just the way it was tweeted,
the way
like
it was
just the way
tweeted.
Shams. I'm
Yeah,
like, dude, this gotta be hacked. Like, he
gotta
doesn't
be
tweet like
fake.
this.
But then
The ES,
ESPN tweeting it, yeah, that's what did it, huh? ESPN tweeting it out was kind
yeah.
of the
I was just like, dude, there's no way that ESPN is tweeting it. So then that means that the Lakers are probably Luka comes back healthy. They're probably going to play Luka, Austin, Braun. That means that the 4-5 has to be defensive guys. So DFS is into the lineup. And dude, Roger, I think if Rui gets shipped, it's going to be for a defensive center, like a really great defensive
it
center.
has to be now. It has to
Yeah,
be now. Needs have all changed.
yeah.
You have ball handling on lock.
Hold
Think
on,
about this,
Eddie.
Vinay.
My guy Bansky wants to jump on. Hold on, let me send him
Oh
a.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Let
Let's
me
do it.
send him a.
So while
Yeah,
you're getting him,
If you're watching the stream, I'm gonna send you a link. I'm gonna DM you a link right now. So hold on.
while Vans is hopping on,
Yeah,
Vinay, you have 48 minutes of LeBron and Luka Doncic running your offense,
bro, that's fucking nuts, dude. Are you
and
kidding
like
me,
when they're
bro?
not doing it, it's Austin Reeves. Like,
Are you kidding me, bro? LeBron said, "I need another ball handler." Lakers said, "Yeah, here's Luka Doncic." Dude, what the fuck?
I'm gonna tell Vans, let's get Rui for KD going. Let's get that going.
I've been
Rui
telling
for
him to
KD.
tell Katie to get the fuck out of Phoenix for such a long time now. I was like, dude, will you stop fucking wasting your time hanging out with. Well, I won't say anything about his personal life, but you know, win a championship, just fucking come to LA, bro. You don't need to
We'll
go to
appreciate you, Katie. We got you. You'll be appreciated over here.
Bands. If you're watching, I sent you the link. Just click on the link and you should be able to pull up your phone and I'll bring you on the stage.
Luca can walk after 2020. Luca's not going anywhere. It's just Luca's
No,
not going anywhere.
dude,
Luca's
you've seen what the Lakers have been willing to do for LeBron and AD. They'll do like whatever Luca wants. He wants to come in fat, like we did that with Shaq, bro. Like this is nothing new. Like Shaq was coming in. Shaq was coming into the league fat. Like he was coming into the regular season fat, and the Lakers let him play through his what's it called?
bro. So the Mavs like just got good. Like that's the part that's breaking my brain. They just started like winning at a high level.
Yeah,
Like being contender status. I mean, Luca took them to the conference finals and all that, but like they were just a contending team this year. This was their first year as like a favorite.
yeah. I'm messaging Bands right now. Sorry. I have so many people hitting me. Raj, I'm 100% sure you have 1,000 people hitting you up right now.
Yeah, my freaking DMs are like trashed.
Yeah, I'm not gonna read anything right now. I'm trying to parcel. Okay, so Ben's getting to his computer, then he's gonna join.
All right, for sure.
He'll hit us up here.
Can the
But
league veto this? No, Jerish, they can't. I'm sorry, bro. They cannot veto this. The league
dude,
does not. The
we're
league
not
does
doing
not
this shit.
own. The league
We're
does
not
not
doing this.
own the Dallas Mavericks.
Yes.
Well, I mean, in a management role, so they
Yeah.
cannot. They cannot do that.
But a very great question.
No, good question. Shout out Mac Mole.
Yeah.
Just there you go. I understand though, bro. I understand your pain.
Oh, Raj, this is a great question right here from that scene. Trade Connect now if you get Kessler.
I guess so. Bro, I cannot talk about like I don't even know how to look at this. By the way, Dalton would get some good looks with Luka Doncic and LeBron James full time. This is So you like an Austin Luka backcourt? Is that like
Not defensively, I don't. But offensively, that thing is on like drugs.
smoking,
It
smoking?
big on drugs.
How far is that? I'm gonna upset a lot of people. How far is that from like a Luka Kyrie backcourt? Like how
Oh,
far
you're
away is
asking
that?
the tough questions, bro.
How far away is that?
I think Kyrie is. I'm gonna compliment Kyrie first because I think that's important to do before
All right, all
we
right,
talk trash. I think Kyrie is an offensive technical master. I think he has
okay, all right,
mastered the offensive game of basketball. But I have
all right,
also seen Kyrie be fucking awful on offense in
all
the
right.
playoffs. And um, I don't think the gap between Austin and Kyrie. Yes, I know Kyrie had a crazy 2016. But if you were honest about Kyrie, when they went down 3-0 or 3-1 to the Warriors, he was a huge, like he was garbage. Like, and then those last 3 games, he went into some God mode. So I think, bro, I don't think Austin's anywhere on an individual level the same capable player
But
as Kyrie
but
is. But I think
but bro, as
production wise,
as a connector, as like
I think
off.
he, yeah.
Okay, I'm not saying he's Kyrie Irving, but
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. Austin is not going to tell the media, passing is not my job. Getting guys involved is not my job. That's LeBron's job. I don't think Austin is saying that. I think Austin's like, whatever you need me to do, I'll do it. You need me to
eh,
defend, you need me to score, you need me to facilitate, I'll do it. And I think that's a huge, huge part of him being very successful.
yeah, and this probably saves LeBron's legs a lot too, right? Like I mean, just the amount of possessions Luca will eat up is just having the basketball. Like there's some wonky fit stuff too. There's
Yeah.
some LeBron off ball, which I mean he's done a lot now with Austin kind of as a starting guard, but I, I'm just in absolute shock that this has happened.
Yeah. Let me ask you something, Raj. Do you think the Lakers do this? And folks who are joining, once Benz gets to his computer, we'll bring him up here, and I'm sure he said he's got a story he wants to tell. So
Oh, nice. All
I
right.
think we'll get some good stuff from Eddie. But one of the questions I wanted to ask Raj was like, do you think maybe the Lakers thought that this might be like kind of towards the end of Bron's tenure here as a Laker, and maybe that's why they make that move now because they're like, look,
Yeah.
let's say next year is Bron's farewell season. Like I've said multiple times on this pod that um,
Next
I
year.
think next year is going to be Bron's farewell season. The only reason he hasn't announced it is because the Lakers want to let him do it
Right.
on his own terms. And if that is true, you get the 1 year with your son, and the following year you get your farewell season, you get the red carpet treatment, all that sort of stuff. Maybe, obviously Dallas came to the Lakers. It's not like the Lakers aggressively shopped Anthony Davis and got this trade done, but maybe the reason why the Lakers pulled the trigger on this move now is because of that reason. They're thinking, "Hey, Bron's not going to be here. This kid is incredible and can carry the franchise for at least another 7 to 10 years or something like that." So,
Th-
I
This
think
is
that's a huge trade. I think
this is
that might
how
be part of it.
I think it is. I also think they could have called about this 4 months ago,
Yeah,
and the Lakers would have been like, "Are you sure? Like that's all it would take."
yeah.
We got
Well,
bands on now,
yeah,
so
let me center my guy, dude. I need to move myself out of this and center my guy here.
What's up, fellas?
What's
hey,
up?
what's going on?
What's up, Eddie? Folks, we have Bansky from Twitter. Also Eddie is his real name.
Yes.
Uh Eddie, like what is going through your head right now? Because you're way more
What the hell just
connected to
happened?
all the stuff that happens here than we do. What explain to me what's going on here.
So I thought my friend got hacked.
We all did.
I talked I talked to Shams earlier and we were talking about something else that was happening, but I could tell he was busy. And I
Yeah.
was just like, all right, like, we were talking during the Suns game. And then the tweet went out. I'm like, first I text him. And then I'm like, even more so than the trade, I'm like trying to make sure he's not hacked. So like some crazy stuff goes down.
Yeah.
So I call him. He literally goes, "I'm not hacked. It's real. I'm gonna call you back. Bye," and just hangs up.
Wow. That is like
That's
even
absurd.
Shams be like, yo, hold on. I don't got time to discuss anything with you right now. I gotta go take care of this. Like that's
Because
insane.
we'll talk on the phone like casually, and he's like, "Yo, I
Yeah.
gotta take this," and just hangs up. And it's like
Yeah.
he'll do it like in person too. Like, "Oh, give me a second." We're like at a restaurant. I'm like, "Yeah, all right." And so I was just like, and so I just let it be. He's on TV right now. I text him like, "I need you to call me when you're done breaking the internet."
So
And he just
we
said,
were,
"All right," but
I was gonna say
the,
we were on stream and I saw the tweet come out and it was like, you know how I didn't have like the little graphic, little breaking news graphic attached to it? I
yeah,
was like, oh, this has got to be fake because this is not how Shams tweets. It's like real professional
yeah,
news, the little graphic breaking news, and it never came. So I was like, this got to be fake. And then ESPN tweeted it, and I'm like, huh, that can't be
because
right. Like,
I did the
but
thing
tell
like
me what's going through your head. Yeah,
I did the thing like when Draymond tweeted, "I'm so sorry" or whatever it was. Like I clicked that
Yeah.
like 10 times. I was like, "Is this the right account?" Like I did that, and I'm like,
yeah,
this is account. And I went to Instagram, I went to ESPN, like I went to all the places. I'm like, nobody else is reporting this. Nothing's going on. What the hell is happening?
yeah,
And it just like the amount of players made me go, that might be real. Like
Right.
that's like too specific.
yeah.
And then it was his account. And so yeah, like I said, I was worried for him because I'm like, yo, if his account gets hacked, like that's really damaging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%,
Once it hit the ESPN account, we were like, oh, there's no way someone hacked both ESPN and Shams. And we thought like that's when it was real.
So y'all
Man,
are crazy excited, right? Like this is
Yeah.
a
I mean,
Lakers home
we
run, right?
we're pretty. I want to ask you
Yeah.
though, like
I mean,
why does Dallas do this? Like, is it just the concerns with the conditioning with Luka? That's the part I can't wrap my head around.
I don't
Is
understand that either. And then the reports are coming out now that like Luka didn't know, which I actually believe. Like this is something, Vinay. I feel like we talked about this a ton. This is why the players aren't loyal to these teams because you can be Luka Doncic and the Mavericks go, you know
good
what?
point.
We want to get off this.
Yeah.
And supposedly they were negotiating a contract or for some time now. So it's like,
Right.
yeah.
I never fault the guys anymore because like look at what can happen. Not that he went to a bad place, but to blindside him with just like, yo, he's hurt right now, by the way. Like pretty substantially hurt. And so I don't get it. You know, this isn't Mark Cuban's team so much anymore. Like he's sold into some minority and all that stuff. Like I just don't. That's a franchise star. You know, like I can buy into. This is a competitive iteration of this team with Kyrie and 8. Like that's a good team. That's a really good team they put together. But you just got Clay to like bolster Luka. You know what I mean? Like you just got PJ. You're getting him centered. Like that was the point of this team. And to just do that, it's crazy. Now for the Lakers, I'm sure y'all talked about it. It's a home run. He's 25 years old.
It's
like
absurd.
Yeah.
You just signed your next franchise star for the next, 6-7 years. You're going to give him a max extension pretty soon here, and then, like that's a decade-long star.
Yeah, and one of the comparisons we were making was like when that Chris Paul trade happened, the one that got vetoed. Like we knew, like Laker fans knew that like Powell was kind of on his way out, like in terms of like how effective he was going to be in the league. And Lamar Odom, what they did to contribute to those championships. But you got to move on at some point, and it wasn't Kobe, right? Like we're not trading Kobe. We'll trade the guys around him. And this trade feels, granted, the Mavs came to us, which I think was kind of what happened with the New Orleans deal. Like New Orleans kind of came to like, we're not going to keep Chris Paul. He's not going to stay with us, so we want to get something. And this feels like that. Like this feels like Dallas is like, for whatever reason, we're done with like the Luka experience. Y'all want to give us Anthony Davis? We'll give you Luka. And then Eddie, it's not even just the Anthony Davis part. Like that's already a home run. They didn't ask for both picks. They asked for Max Christie in the first. Like
didn't get Austin Reeves in the deal. Like that's
like
the part.
like we didn't mortgage. Yeah, you don't
so
get
look,
Reeves, like
this is also preaching. Get under the second apron because you never know, and you need to combine salary. Like you need that, even just that pinch of flexibility. Get under that because somebody could come knocking on your door with a Luka Doncic. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
it's like AD is great. We've all had kind of like the fantasy trade scenarios over the past couple of years. Like, here's how the Lakers load up for the next 5 years. And, you know, guys that go on TV and say, oh, you trade LeBron, you'll get picks for LeBron. You don't trade LeBron. You just don't do that.
Right.
But it's like, you could trade AD. Like, you could, right? And he's great. He's a top 20, whatever player you want to call him. He's great. But it was like always that hit the possibility. And I know everybody relies on like clutch loyalty and all stuff. That only goes so far too. Like, they're still running the Lakers. And when you get Luka Doncic, who his ceiling is the best player in the world, and he's only 25, and yes, you can say his conditioning, his health, but like you feel confident, like, oh, we can get him, we can work on that, you know. And even when he doesn't do that, he can anchor an offense to the finals. You do that. You probably do that for LeBron. I mean, you do now for LeBron at 40 years old, of course, but like you answer that call too.
Yeah.
There's only one player in the league that's untouchable.
Yeah.
We found that out today. There's only one. He's in Texas.
Right.
He ain't going nowhere. Everybody else,
yeah.
And that was the part. That was the part that's like, that's the part that's super shocking. It's just like obviously the age and what it is, but it's just like, bro, the Lakers got back a top 3 player for basically Anthony Davis in a first rounder, which is kind of insane to think about, because you would imagine a guy like Luka would command at least, like, bro, I'm like, I don't even know how to
They're saying, look,
process this. I mean,
they're reporting that LeBron found out.
Acknowledge Anthony Davis and like his contributions too as well.
Do you buy that, here and there?
You guys keep talking.
Do you buy that LeBron found out? I guess like he had no involvement at all in this, or like how do you feel like he feels?
I was just talking about this on a radio show about De'Aaron Fox. I think people overstate how often players talk to management or ownership.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like LeBron might be the exception.
Okay.
But there's also a little bit of like conflict of interest, the clutch stuff and all that stuff. Like maybe this is the one they snuck by him. You know what I mean? So I will say this. I've heard for some time LeBron has stayed out of a lot of it because like the coaching thing was like a thing people were blaming on him.
Yeah.
So I've heard that for some time in LA. So I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, guys truly do find out they get traded by Shams and on TV and stuff like that. So yeah, it's insane though. I mean, you think LeBron might be the exception, but also again, LeBron has kind of made it a point to stay out of everything. Even the JJ stuff. Like I know the story turned into like, oh, he's a JJ guy. Behind the scenes, that was not that he was anti JJ, but like it was never this massive push for his podcast co-host or whatever, right?
Right.
It was just like,
I think Rich also did like a little interview when he was talking about Bronny. He also kind of talked about like he was telling Bron like, don't get involved with the coaching search. Stay out of like the player stuff for right now. Like let them figure out what they're supposed. Like he wanted to make sure it was very clear that Bron was not involved with these sort of decisions that were being made anymore.
The way it was said to
probably
me,
after the Russ thing, I would imagine, but it makes sense.
Or the T-Lue thing,
right?
Yeah, like he stamped T-Lue. They never extended enough to get it, and then that was the way it was said. After that, it was like, y'all got it. You know,
stay out.
I'll handle what I can handle. So I think that's some of that, and not that I think like LeBron has this undying loyalty to AD. Like I'm sure LeBron is excited, you know.
Sure,
but that's my question about the Lakers now. It's like, all right, we hear the Warriors rumors, we hear like all this stuff.
Oh, I see.
Do you say like, yo, let's start the next iteration of this team?
There's no way. There's no way the Lakers would trade LeBron James. I just cannot see it unless he goes to them.
Franchise would do it,
right? But I mean, like they would have to specific. He would have to somebody. No. He would have to specifically go and ask. For it.
Yeah.
Right? And say, send me here, and it would have to be publicly known that he asked for that, and wants to get out, but. He has Luka Doncic next to him. And Eddie, the part that's the craziest thing to me is the Mavs were in the finals last year. Like they were in finals less than, 7-8 months ago. Like Luka just took them to the finals. You mentioned how they built the team around him. It's just I can't believe they, cut the cord on that.
the people were saying now they're blaming him, they're talking about his weight. So like, I don't care about that. Like,
I
not
mean,
that I
we were
don't
just
care, but like, you can work on that. You know what I mean? And so unless Luka's just mad
yeah.
unprofessional,
And I was telling Raj right. Sorry, I cut you off.
You're
Go
good.
ahead.
Oh no, you're good.
Sorry,
You're good.
I keep cutting in and out. So then, yeah. I was saying that like the weight and conditioning thing is not an issue because like we dealt with Shaq. Like Shaq used to come into the
Yeah.
season out of shape, so the Lakers already know like what they're getting into with Luka and how that works. Eddie, I got a question for you. I asked this to Raj. I've had this conspiracy that we always share on the pod from time to time, or I share on the pod, that I think the Lakers want to give Bron 1 year with his son this season with his son. And then they're gonna let him if he feels like he wants to retire at like during pick up his player option. That's it. He's gonna retire. He's 41, accomplish everything he wants. So that sort of thing. If they think he's potentially thinking about doing that, obviously they're not going to spoil the farewell tour announcement. They'll let Bron do it himself. Wouldn't this trade kind of make sense? Like, oh, we might as well do it now. Like, we don't need to hunt for a co-star. Like, if we know Bron's leaving.
that's the kind of like the word's not collusion. There's a better word, but that's the kind of like planning you would expect from this organization and this level of player. Like, I think forced is the wrong word with Bronny, but they saw an opportunity, and I think they, yes, you look. Like, a lot of people get jobs because somebody they know is at the job, but I think they saw an opportunity to like let's do this here. Let's have it be a family affair. I think there is a clock, like LeBron has talked about it a ton. He's not going to play for forever, no matter how great he looks. He looks good. He looked really good tonight. So I do think there is some level of planning in that sense. Just the same as we feel like there was with Kobe, you know what I mean? And this is the Lakers and this is the Bus family, and they know what they're doing and they take care of their people in that sense. That's a big reason why I can't see it. But
yeah,
the Warriors have ass. Like, that's a real thing. People have kicked the tires, but you can't be the team that trades LeBron. Like, you just cannot be the team that trades LeBron. I don't care if you're the Lakers. You couldn't be the team that traded Kobe. There's no team that can trade Michael Jordan. You cannot be the team that trades LeBron. Like, you just can't. So I just don't see it. But I feel like noise will happen. So that leads to like kind of like the one question I wanted to ask y'all is the fit. How do you feel about the fit? Because people are instantly going, but this is Luka Doncic and LeBron James,
bro.
This is fucking nuts. You're adding a. Go ahead, Raj. You go first.
No, I was. Yeah, it's just you're adding a top 2 player in the league. Like, to me, it's Jokic then Luka, right? Wherever Wemby fits in the future. Just right now, those are the 2 best players in the league. SGA maybe behind him, but yeah, it's like you got a guy who you're gonna have LeBron and Luka running your offense for 48 minutes a game, which is like to me just nuts. And obviously Austin Reeves off ball. There's still some questions of LeBron and Luka, I guess, in terms of where LeBron fits off the ball. But I think people have been watching the Lakers recently. He's handed a lot of the keys over to Austin Reeves, who's driven the car pretty fine, right, Eddie? Like, the car is getting to where it needs to go. You just brought in like a professional NASCAR driver to like come in and drive the car now. Like, you got a super professional guy who can come in and be the best. Like, Luka might be also the best passer in the league. Like, this is, I know AD's defense is going to be missed for sure, but
I think LeBron's willingness to be off the ball and the pass. You know, we all joked about it when he first came and he was asking for playmakers immediately. But it was obvious there was a willingness to do that to a playmaker that was good enough. And he obviously trusts Austin Reeves. I had some conversations with Suns guys after one of the games. I think the Suns still won, but it was like, yo, AR got better. Like, he really can handle the pick and roll, and he's figured out how to snake and put guys in jail, and he got better. Like, he's taking a step, you know. And that's why I was kind of eyeballing some of the De'Aaron Fox comments. Like, I think Fox is better, but the tax you would then have to pay on top of sending them, like, it just didn't feel right. And obviously they were out of it pretty quickly anyway. So now you have these 3 creators, right? And LeBron has been a better shooter. He's a streaky, but he's still, like, you can't just not guard LeBron. So it doesn't matter.
Can't just go under every time.
So there's some level of spacing there. You can't really complain about the spacing. Now, you go on the other end, let's figure that out. You got a week to find another center, you know. But if this is something they roll into next year and they have time to add some guys, like, I like the fit a lot. Like, I get the reservations, but and this is like peak casual too. Those two guys at the end of a game, any close game,
It's fucking nuts,
That's
dude.
so stupid, bro.
like
So dumb.
I don't want to say too much, but I talked to Kevin before one of the Mavs games. We're like, oh, y'all got this. I think somebody was hurt. And it was like, no, you never just have it when you have two killers like that on the other side.
Yeah.
I get you. And it ended up being like crazy ass close game. I think Kevin had a game winner or some shit like that. It was earlier this season. And it was like, yeah, you're right. So now you have LeBron, who's one of the greatest closers of all time. You have Luka, who also is one of the greatest closers of all time. And they can create shots against anybody in any amount of space. And they can make shots from everywhere. Like Luka can really make shots from everywhere. LeBron can too. And then get to the line. So like LeBron's tricky free throw shooting aside, if you're up 2, you're good. If you're tied, you really like your chances. Like, let's just get the ball and give it a chance. So again, that's like peak casual. There's only so many times that happens, but that matters in the playoffs. Like that matters in big games. So
yeah, this trade is so absurd that somebody actually asked us in the chat if the league could veto the trade.
No
yeah,
chance.
you gotta send the lawyers. Dallas called us. Don't play with us now.
Yeah,
but,
one of the things that we were saying is that we think that like now over the course at least these next 4 or 5 days up until the trade deadline, like the Lakers have to really figure out like, is Luka going to be healthy for a run into the playoffs? And if he's healthy for a run into the playoffs, do they need to? Now, does Rui have to get moved? Like there's buzz about Rui getting moved even before this trade. Now you pretty much have to move him because you need to add a more defensive minded center because we don't have the size now anymore. And like the math behind everything just changes of what you're going to do. But then at the same time, as fans, we're like, are we going to keep trying to go all in right now? Or are we going to wait and see what Braun decides to do this offseason and then decide what we want to do? Or in my opinion, I was like, if you can get a deal, you should probably try to go for it now, especially if you know Luka's coming back healthy. It's worth going for it when you have.
I mean,
you said it, dude. You got Braun and Luka at the end of games, bro. That's insane.
Yeah. You look at the top of the conference, and you saw what Luka did against Oklahoma last year, and it was a little up and down, but he finished it. You like that matchup.
Yeah.
I'll say this: they were not happy they missed out on Nick Richards. Like they were not that Nick Richards is Shaq, but they were like, "Yo, we need something like that." And so I would expect them to be very aggressive with Kessler. I would like whomever they feel because they know they need a big. And Luka likes having a center. LeBron likes having a center. Like a lob threat, a roll threat.
Yeah,
they love
they both
that.
do. Yeah.
And they're gonna poke around for shooting too, of course. Like they're gonna have to. Just because it's Luka. Luka and LeBron have the Luka and LeBron rule, whereas there needs to be somebody in that corner, the weak side corner, at all times of the game. And if you ever watch them, and a possession happens and a guy's not, you will watch Luka and LeBron run down one of their teammates. It's like, yo, you're supposed to be there. I don't care what's going on. Stay there. So they'll look for shooting as well, but I would not be shocked if they're not very aggressive in the center market. And you look at like they have been up and down. They have had some rough losses that you hate. They've had some really good wins that you like. But they are definitely that team of like we felt like we were a move away. We made a move.
Yeah.
We're giving this a run. I don't expect them to kind of like, oh, we'll see next year. Like you don't waste a year of Luka. You don't do that.
That's true.
So
yeah. And like one of the things that I think fans have always said, it's always like that. And I know you have a lot of opinions about this, about the big market versus small market kind of attitude about things. But like one of the things about being part of the Lakers is you get a lot of eyeballs. But not only that, but when you get to play next to LeBron, he's feeding you so many looks. It just kind of builds up your like, as long as you do what you're supposed to do, you get paid. But now the Lakers got two guys that can do that and just kind of make you look like an all-star basically in your roles. So it's like it from like a, you don't want to say the rich get richer, but from that standpoint, if you're a defensive minded player or a guy that knows how you could fit in with those guys, and you're a buyout guy or you're a guy who's like a low salary guy, and the Lakers happen to call, the Lakers were interested in you a couple of years back, or even as soon as a couple of months back, you're probably calling your agent saying, "Yo, I don't want to be here anymore. If you can get me to the Lakers, let's get over to the Lakers and make this happen." So I'm going to be very curious to see how everything changes now that this trade has happened.
Yeah, I trashed it earlier, but I wonder if they take a flyer on PJ. It costs you almost nothing. But like that
Mhm.
type of guy, like
Locker room
um,
guy.
the Cam Johnson stuff is I don't think they have the salaries, right? Like they'd have to give up too much. But that type of guy, like I'd expect them to be hyper aggressive in the next week. They only have 4 days, but I expect them to be hyper aggressive, and you should be.
Yeah.
But if not, again, this offseason, same thing. Like whatever they know about LeBron and when he's retiring, this offseason, they'll definitely really go crazy with it. So I'm
Yeah.
very curious.
Yeah.
And
It's a
What do you think of Miles Turner? Eddie, is that a guy like should they go all in on someone like that? Like,
I
or
trashed this a little bit on the timeline because I was curious. I asked a few
yeah,
people, and it was just like, no, I've never heard of him being available right now.
okay,
Um,
yeah.
but they should. I mean, if he becomes available, like, yeah, I'd love to
right,
have him for Ruby and a contract and a pick, like, of course. But um, the Pacers I think are fourth in the East, and they just went to the conference
right,
final themselves. I don't think. I know he's expiring, right? Like that's kind of the rationale.
yeah.
That's the rationale. Yeah.
They don't want to pay him,
And
right?
and teams don't want to pay him 30. They don't want to pay him 30 mil, but I feel like they're probably going to find a way to make it work.
Yeah, or sign and trade, right? We can do that in the
Yeah.
summer.
Or
Like
sign
use them now.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, man, it just changed the whole calculus of this franchise. And he's 25. There's 26 next month. This month,
Yeah.
like we've seen his ceiling. We've seen him take a team to the finals with Derrick Jones Jr. and PJ Washington. Like
Yeah, it's
and a rookie at center. Like,
that's what I was telling Vinay. It was a rookie at center last year, and he made the finals. Eddie, you're connected, around the league. I want to ask you, where does Dallas go? Like, is it now Kyrie and AD and that core, or do they now, pivot? You mentioned Clay as well was signed this year to play with Luka. Where do they go from here? This is the part that I think everyone thought this trade was fake, mostly because from the Dallas side. Where do they go from here? What direction do they move towards?
it's funny looking at that team because we've seen a ton of Luka in the playoffs, but they missed the playoffs the year before
2 years
last.
ago.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And they were kind of shaky going into it last year. They made a great run. Obviously, went to the finals, but there was that kind of era of like they don't have it all yet. Like they just. I'm very curious because they made a commitment to Kai. Kai's looked great. He's been a model
Right.
citizen. He's Mark Cuban has talked. Everybody's talked him up. They have a really good coach, I think, in Jason Kidd. They've found ways to play really great modern basketball in the sense where they load up on athletes on the perimeter. They get them to shoot. They encourage them to shoot, and then they have their centers who run the rim, and they play great defense. They play great defense with not that great defenders, But if you're looking at that, and you're saying this pairing is just not championship worthy. Is that the beginning of a teardown, and now you have an extra pick, and you're trying to like reset? I like AD and Kai a lot. Like, I don't think that's a pairing you don't at least try.
It's a good combo.
But
yeah,
for the organizations who clearly have made this decision in the last week or two to say we want to move in a different direction, what's AD 32? Like AD's not spring chicken.
No, yeah.
And like I rebuke all the he's always hurt stuff, but he's older. Kai's 33 now. I think Kai's a little older too. I think you give it a run, and then everybody's looking at 26, right? A little bit of cap hike. They're hoping some guys hit the free agent market. Like you do that, but it's just in the same way you're ecstatic for Lakers. He's like, yo, you're set up for the next 10 years. It's shocking that the Mavericks bowed out of the next 10 years. Like I'm blown away. He was the face.
I'm almost convinced, like, because it just seems so lopsided. I'm almost convinced that there might be a situation where, like, maybe his weight issue is like a real issue, like a Zion level issue, where like maybe the contract that they wanted to put him in had like some guaranteed, like it's non-guaranteed if he doesn't play X amount of games or something like that. And then he was just like, I'm not interested in that. And they're like, all right, we got to move him now because it doesn't protect the team, and it doesn't protect what's it called, like his situation or the team situation. So I'm going to be very curious. I mean, this is nobody can say no to this. No team would say no to Luka being offered to them unless there was something catastrophic behind him. So it's I'm very curious to see what ends up happening. But Eddie, Raj, I know we've been on for almost 3 hours now. I
Yeah.
just wanted to say, I don't know, Eddie, if you have any last thoughts you want to share. We'll probably close down the stream. And
Nah, it's all
process
good,
this
man.
a little bit mentally.
I appreciate y'all having me. I seen you guys
Yeah.
on. Like, yo, how do I join? Like, I said I wanted to get on Spaces, but I really wanted to get on this one. So
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We
talk to my
appreciate it.
guys. Spend
Yeah,
some
of course,
time.
man. Anytime.
Anytime, bro.
We're always happy to have you up here.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. I'm excited for y'all, man. I'm excited to see this.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully he plays soon,
Yeah.
and that's crazy, bro. I guess we'll close on that, right? Like, craziest trade of your life, like craziest trade of your basketball life?
100%. I was telling
Absolutely,
Vinay the Paul George deal was probably the craziest one, like just out of in terms of shocking. And when he went to when he went to the Clippers, this is like 50 times that. Like
This is like if
just
Kobe
crazy.
went to the Bulls, like if it actually happened.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
25-year-old Kobe goes to the Bulls. Yeah. It's like this is absurd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look, thanks for having me, y'all.
Yeah.
I ain't want to interrupt what y'all
Of
are
course.
having.
No,
I just
you're
wanted to
good.
tell my
No,
sound
you're
story
good,
'cause
you're
I
good.
was laughing at that shit. I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, no worries. Eddie, we appreciate you joining. Folks, everybody who joined the stream for the Knicks post game and now all of this, we appreciate you joining us here for over 2.5 hours. Raj and I are going to go and process this a little bit more, and I'm sure we're going to have some more pods about this because this has been a very, very crazy night. The Lakers get a huge win against the Knicks, and Anthony Davis is a Dallas Maverick, and Luka Doncic is a Los Angeles Laker. So wherever you're listening to this, I hope you're having a wonderful evening. As we all try to figure this out. And if nothing else, we'll catch you in the next one. Take it easy.